lately ng ating meta talaga yan yung mga hindi
Hello, good afternoon.
Ngayon, pasok muna tayo. Yuzang and Jushin pa lang. Una natin makikita matatanggal alongside with the Grok here para sa CG.
Inalis na kaagad eh. No? Pati Claude, naintindihan
Hello.
na napakahirap talaga kalaban ng Claude.
Tama na daw.
Tama na ang, ang pananalasa ng isang Claude. Ang hirap naman kasi talaga kalaban. Nakita naman natin ng first match. Eh, diba?
Yeah, na-consider yun na tanongin. Kasi you cannot really ban out the emblem na ginagamit ng Claude. So might as well just ban out the hero itself, diba? Ban mo as a whole para maiba naman ulit yung makikita natin sa gold lane.
Good morning, Mers! Annyeonghaseyo. Konnichiwa. Lahat sinabi. Pers ka, pers. Saba, pers.
Pero let's see. Sora also nga pala.
Uy, pasok na sa knockout stage ang Aurora and TLPH.
Para gamitin itong si Chico.
Hello, Kian.
Prioritize it a little bit on the second.
Good evening, January. Ano laro ngayon? Bato, pick. Char. BSE versus CG. Count ba ako?
Or YSS that are both still available at this moment.
Laglagan to, guys. Unang nalaglag ang Team Zone na 2-0 sila ng CFU. Hindi ko na live kasi wala ko sa bahay.
So thus, removing the Fanny, make sure na si Gary wala siyang masyadong galaw-gaw din sa laban na to.
Ngayon, tingnan natin baka fighters muna.
Di ka na naglalaro Roblox. Ngayon, hindi na. Hirap pala pagkaganto. PLDC ano pa din lag pa din. Why? Di ba yan? Kaka-start ko lang. Lag si PLDC. Why naman?
Gold lane kasi kulot na yun mismo. So
sorry.
removing the Fanny, make sure na si Gary wala
sana mamaya hindi malag.
din sa laban na to.
Pasensya na, guys.
Baka fighters muna.
Wala pa naman. Wag naman kayo magalit sa akin. Grabe. Baka sa kanila kasi ito pa din yung yung off eh. I mean yung stop. Sa kanila ata, guys. O di ba naglag?
The advantage of
sa kanila yan.
how they say this,
Hindi akin.
the unfamiliarity. Dahil itong Black Sentence, siguro sa mga nanonood, ngayon lang nila narinig tong team na to.
Oo, baka hindi nga, yung mga players, baka hindi nga naaalala, ni maalala man lang, no? Pero
Safe pa ba yung TL? Pasok na sila sa knockout stage.
Alam mo naman sa Malaysia,
Halos million pa rin na uuwi, no? Parang si Kirk daw. Uy, hindi ko alam yung kinoment mo, Shin. Ay, may si translation. Good night? Good night?
So let's see kung paano ba mag-iikot itong draft na ito. Ayun, kumuha na.
So sa kanila pala mismo.
Ayun, tama nga tayo.
Nag-stop nga, kala ko sa akin.
Sa kabilang panig naman ay medyo makukunat. Back siya, Hilda, and Farsa para sa kanilang range.
Yun yung sinasabi natin play around sa heart ng team. Kasi kinoconsider nga na heart natin ngayon, sis Chico, for CG. Meanwhile for BSA, parang willing silang i-let go kasi nga kung na-notice natin, open yung likes ka ng Forza. But I was also like eyeing out the Kalea sana. Pero considering na Flying Clouds nga pala, so Ahilda is also a must kung sakali. Pero BSE, considering na may back siya sila, parang ngayon na lang ulit ako. So far,
good evening, Sheen.
At sa first space pa yun ng red side.
Yeah, looking at it, yung Hilda, magiging malaki talaga yung impact nito towards the jungling patterns.
Ilan maglalaro ngayon? Tatlo yan eh. Meron na kanina 4 PM. Tapos ito, second match na BSE versus CG. Game 1 pa lang.
and the Leo board. So if you push on the YSS who only has a single dash, baka mahirapan itong si Gary na makapag-dish out ng damage early on kasi yung farm niya medyo kukulangin pa talaga. They have the advantage on that as well dahil may back siya sila sa kabila. But their struggle is gonna be finding out what their gold laner is going to be dahil merong threats mula sa first 3 picks ng CG Esports.
Hirap kasi siguro Granger ang isa sa mga pinaka-safe dito. Hindi ko na kinukonsider, ayan na Granger, hindi ko na kasi kinukonsider yung mga fighters dahil kailangan nila ng damage. Dahil, 'di ba? So ngayon, para sa CG, ano ang kanilang kukuning na jungle dito? Makikipagsabayan ba sila sa utility? May Fred rin pa naman. If in case, lalo na may Carry and Eve naman din sila na magbibigay ng damage sa kanila. Pwedeng isa to sa mga konsidera nila.
Kung sakali, I'm eyeing out the utility part kasi baka maging masyadong greedy kung sakali man na mag-assassin jungler pa dito si Gary. Pero let's see, kung sa forte niya rin naman, pwede rin naman. Kaso, ang dami kailangan gawin ngayon nung show. Diba, dito nila ng CG kung sakali man, na ganun yung angulo nila. And the joy was actually one in mind na inisip ko, pero parang ayoko sabihin kasi sabi ko, parang ang greedy nyo, paano yan? Paano kayo gagalaw?
Yeah, like they're willing to fight through the Hilda tsaka dun sa Baksha, which is gonna be really difficult for them. Pero at least, nandun yung glue, so meron silang panghuli sa Granger and sa Farsa kung sakali. Thus, picking up the Arlot para medyo maganda yung matchup nila sa EXP. So, sagutan yung dalawa nating coaches with what they're trying to do and what the strategy is at kung paano nila mapupull off yun.
Nakaka-excited kasi kahapon naalala ko, nakita natin ang dabatang Glue and Arlot sa kamay ng Team Liquid Philippines. Team Liquid na lang pala, pero nasa Pilipinas sila. Team Liquid lang sila. Pero tama ka dun
Nasa Indo sila.
Ha?
Nasa Indo
Nasa Indo sila ngayon, pero Pilipinas sila. So, Philippines.
Nag-explain.
Haba nung intro.
Sige, basta TL sila, Team Liquid.
Pero nagsimula yon dahil ginamit ng Team Liquid ang glue
Ni Patrick
kahapon.
Binuya, no?
Oo,
Ni Patrick
sana makakita. Si Patrick Binuya. Sino si Patrick Binuya?
Hindi pala.
Pero gets ko naman yung punto mo, pare. Sana makita ulit natin si Patrick sa kamay ni Binuya o sa kamay nito. Aalamin natin yan. Hinahanap ko yung glue. Nasaan yun? Hindi ko muna ipapasa sa inyo. Kasi hahanapin ko yung glue, pare. Asa na? Yung glue. Ang sagot ay...
Taas mo
Kay Yetri.
Taas mo pa, Direk. Konti pa doon.
Wala.
Huwag na nga, sige. Inyo na nga to. Game number 1.
Ayun!
Si Patrick kasi minsan naliligaw ng lugar.
Oo nga pala.
Alam mo, nag-trending naman yun nakaraan.
Yung matatalo, di na makakalaro. Oo.
Akala dinner na, pero kinabukasan pa pala yung kita-kits nila na magkaibigan.
Ikaw yun, Hansen.
Favorite niya rin yung glue. Gluman din kasi yun. So it all interconnects. Ang Patrick ngayon ay nasa kamay ni
Kay Yetri.
At ngayon, medyo mainit din ang tatlo dito sa may bandang taas.
Puruhan ka agad si Balance. First blood
Grabe.
ay napunta sa Black Sentence and Gary ay nakabawi din naman sa naging proseso. Ang maganda dito, jungle ang nakakuha ng kill na to papunta sa CG Esports. At si Orochi, kahit paano may konting kalamangan against sa dito kay Yetri.
May bikini bottom pala dito, buff. Kasi nandiyan si Gary, si Patrick din naglalaro.
Wala si Spartan.
Wala, tignan natin kung makakalis pa sa bottom dito ang CG Sports dahil medyo delikado pa rin talaga yung posisyon nila. Yun yung realidad. Ngayon for Black Sentence, may isang sentence na pumuko talaga sa akin pag notes hyper-aggressive team ang Black Sentence.
Grabe.
Pero sobrang aggressive din, nakita mo yung number game kanina. Tapos hindi umatras. Tignan mo si Jin. By wings pa harap, hindi pa atras.
Palaban talaga yan alam mo, natuwa lang ako dito kay Chico. Hindi siya umuwi. Talagang tiniis niya at kahit maliit na yung kanyang buhay, hinantay niya talaga para ma-equalize niya yung XP na nakuha na dito ni Shin. Ngayon kung titingnan natin sa mga emblems, fighter emblem din pala. Itong si Doom, naka Festival of Blood din siya. So ito na talaga yung meta na umiikot ngayon sa mga gold laners natin. Hawakan sa pagunto
Okay, ito naman yung umiikot ngayon. Both at level 4, so might possible tayo makakita dito ng prolong na land or dance dito sa turtle. Pero sa pinakalikod, grabe naman yung atake ni Steffi kay Siko, pero nakalatag pa rin.
Ayan na, real manipulation na gamit. Yetri ang nakakuha ng pagkong sabay. Nakuha at napatay din nila dito si Rochi. May Phoenix pa ba itong si Steffi? Hindi na siya makakatakas, pre. Sinaniba na dito ni Yetri. Di naman naman.
Machong Patrick.
Machong oo nga pala, no, galit na Patrick pala yun kapag kasumanib.
Oo, kaya nga, ang cute kahapon, nagkaroon ng highlights. And pagdating sa English, hindi sila maganda humayo, tumawa.
Oo,
Lalo
tawan-tawa.
sila Naisu. Pero hindi nakakatuwa yun para sa Black Sentence, ha? Double kill given to Siku at ngayon pwede pa madagdagan. Sipa, medyo off yung angulo.
Napalayo lang ata. Si Valence ay mabibigyan dito ni Shin. Gandang pagbawi pa rin para sa Black Sentence. Ngayon, 1v1 na naman. Actually, hindi nga 1v1 yan eh. 1v15 ata yun dahil ang daming mga glulets. Ay ko po, Jayco, guys! Ay nahampas din mula dun sa Power of Wildness mula dito kay Stefe.
Grabe no, yung alam ko kadalasan methodical laging approach ang CG Esports na malinis, disiplinado.
Oo.
Pero para bang
Di ko alam kung PLDC to o sa kanila na naman. Ang weird naman. Sorry na guys. Try ko mag-English broadcast. Minsan pag English broadcast, dire-diretso eh. Dudugo nga lang ilong natin. Ayun, dire-diretso lang saan. Andito si si Brigida to.
A roam for an EXP lane.
Yep, very worth it, especially since Orochi had to flicker for it as well. So they know that this upcoming fight, Orochi's not going to be able to do too much and can't make a super play of his own to turn those tides. But they got to be careful because now Amzik is having to deal with a lot of pressure from the three members of Black Sentence as they look to position for this upcoming turtle.
Great follow-up by Orochi. Hopefully we get to see more link-ups like that. Final slash, make it worth.
Once again, Hydon Bush starting things up for Black Sentence. There's the
Yo.
counter real-world manipulation though, but Valence, before he even gets to complete the Way of the Dragon, gets bursted down. Hydon Bush now gone as well. Gary still finding Orochi, and Amzik joining the fight helps so much in terms of the damage that CG Esports is able to throw out. He takes down Jin, but Doom picks up a double.
Okay, double, very important for Black Sentence. They get 2 stacks for their Granger. Sky Pressure built up before that. Hopefully they stop sending their jungler as the main frontliner / roamer.
Whoa.
But Chiku gets the purple buff last hit, taking it away from Hide on Bush. I know he's a utility jungler, but maybe stop sending him in front all the time.
Honestly, considering that they're winning out like a majority of these trades, let's find out!
Oh, Gary still finds the objective. Final Slack doesn't connect. Steffi was trying to run after him, but Chiku, he's just blocking the way. Look at that purple buff, Eve. Oh,
Okay, all right. He's able to kind of just show the border here, and that's the most important part. As Orochi has already used his final slash, Amzik, again, trying to stay alive for as long as possible. He is the main win condition, as Chiku is now in a phenomenal position. Look, he's a full 900 gold against his opponent. He's 5-1 and 4 against Shin, and Shin only has completed a Lightning Truncheon. In terms of DPS output, Shin should be the one who's feeling overwhelming. However, this glowing wand is doing a lot of work. Stefe can't walk up comfortably. Orochi isn't going to be able to sustain as long as he would like to. Even Hide on Brush has to be a little careful.
every single time Black Sentence tried to go for Chiku. But now it's Chiku who's up there in terms of the leads. So that's potentially denying Black Sentence of their initial plan, so they might have to change things up a bit. Now Balance trying to look for Doom, once again lands the kick, but maybe not in the direction that they wanted. Gary fortunately was there though to finish off the kill. A bit of slows from the Void Crystal, but does Gary have a way out of this? He doesn't, as he's getting shut down by Hyde on a bush.
All right, with all of that happening, CG Esports get the push up top as Amzik free to split push. But the reduction on the turret's still up, so he's gonna stop that. That was a great setup between Gary and Valence.
I don't know if Gary messed up there. I don't know if his dash was still on cooldown or he tried to dash and then got hit by the rolling pin of Hyde on Bush.
I feel like the moment the kick was in the wrong direction and CG Esports decided to just force it.
What if this whole time his name isn't Hide on Brush? What if he's Gideon?
What if he's Faker? Maybe he's smurfing, I don't know. We don't know. With the Wishing Lantern in hand, Chiku Guys is going to make him pay. At the very least now, Chiku Guys is like, I've got enough utility. Hide on Bush, he shouldn't be a problem. Just give me some time. Same goes for Steffe, but let's play the poking game. Let me and Ye3 do some work.
Now, speaking of Ye3,
Yeah,
might
keep
actually find hide
this.
push here. Oh, Orochi still not using Final Slash, trying to get for a bit more information before they actually try to go for a play. Now CG Esports pulls the objective towards their side.
Yeah, and you can see that, like, Ye3, he's basically taking negative damage, right? He's pretty tanky.
Oh, now Valence once again. He uses the way of the Dragon on Hydon Bush. Was that the right target? Gary, though, gets the objective. And look at the amount of damage that's coming in from them. Onto the back lines. Ye3 successfully isolates Shin. Amzik with the free hits. And Hydon Bush once again on his 4th death of this game. Oh, Steffe, though. Will he get to pick out Amzik here?
Oh.
Ye3 helps him, and he does not.
This is a very different CG. I don't... Right? Chico, he should be okay. Oh!
Oh!
Lethal
Still
ignition.
gets him with a lethal ignition. Burn too.
What?
Lots of fights, very scrappy. 24 kills. As we're heading into the 9th minute of the game, folks.
This has been one of the bloodier battles we've seen here at M7. Chico giving a huge shutdown over to Shin, though. I don't know if that was worth it, because now Shin is in a much better position now to actually scale back up into this game. And Ye3, let's see, does he have any MR? He's halfway there. Okay, still in the process of it.
Yeah, but so far this glue has been way too tanky for Black Santas to really think about, which is messing up their team fight because Shin and Doom can't team fight comfortably. They always just have Ye3 standing up on them, grabbing them with the ultimate, messing up their flow, that it just leaves Hydon Bush and Orochi, excuse me, Hideon and Orochi to just now be at this. They're both 4 deaths apiece. Yeah, I think they have to think about the glue first before they start really fighting heavily, because it seems like the idea of, all right, let's ignore the glue, he's just gonna be there, is not working out well for Black Sentence.
I think that Shin and Doom need to split up, right? Because we know that Ye3 is going to try and get on a one or the other target, but Shin has Purify and Doom has Flicker. I would say that Purify is probably a more expendable spell in a lot of these situations, and considering that Orochi wants to displace his targets, I think the biggest problem right now is that half the fights that we see is Black Sentence chasing, and then by the time they realize that it's, oh wait, this is a potential trap, CG has already initiated, right? So start first, figure out where Chiku Guys is. If they look like they're doing something silly, there's a good chance that Chiku Guys is probably going to catch you at max range with RWM.
Because Ye3, every single time, he just links up with Gary, or Gary decides to link up with Ye3. So whoever he gets to find, and it's a bonus if they get to find Shin and Doom close together. So that's
I mean, it's right as oh, what a kick!
Good.
and they get to find Orochi, have the right amount of damage, and Gary once again onto the back lines. Still, somehow, Doom survives though, but that will then result into CG freely taking this Lord.
Yep, they should be able to get this.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx it, but looking that Doom is going to the top side of the map and Steffe is just hovering around, it should be a guaranteed secure.
Chico has really set the tempo here for CG, 6-2 and 7. Yeah, once again, the link up. Black Santas has way too many divers and ultimates. Can Valence actually stop Doom from getting back?
Oh! The last phase of the Jeet could though!
Wait,
but then
might
the
get punished.
damage from Doom is a bit too much. He gets to deny the recall though. But Hydon Bush and Shin are there to help.
And even Ye3 was looking for a potential interception. Well, at least it didn't surmount too much, but now BSC at full fighting capacity, ready to deal with this upcoming Lord, despite being 5.2k down. And I think that it's a good approach. CG understand that their biggest problem is that if they initiate, Orochi could counter-initiate with Flicker, Final Slash. Oh, I don't know if that was...
The damage though.
I don't think that was necessary.
Yeah, Orochi didn't need to burn that. Now they're not going to have a Flicker and Final Slash for this defense, which means that second tower down, they'll be able to take the second tower up top, and Black Santas will now have to play from a massive deficit. What I like about CG Esports in this game so far is that it feels like there's always someone somewhere. They're fighting one way, Gary can easily access the back line. Oh, Gary's a little bit still catching up to the team fight. Ye3's already on them. Of course, we know how many angles Valence can initiate through. Well, Chico and Amzik have just been having the time of their life. Yes, it's 2 deaths on Chico. It's a single death on Amzik. But majority of the team fights that we've seen them in have been just them comfortable. Yes, they'll take some damage. Maybe they'll die here and there. But overall, it's a much better time compared to Doom and Shin, who it seems like every team fight is so demanding for them because all the members of Black Sentence decide to move forward and dive together. No one's really peeling for the back.
Yeah, nobody is designed to peel for the back. Maybe there's like an argument for like Steffe to like buy a little bit of time, but really you're not stopping Gary if he plays it perfectly, and that's the big issue. And I think when we're looking at how Hainamushi and Orochi need to kind of like position themselves, a lot of it boils down to whether or not they see Amzik or Chiku, guys. And now that Chiku is super far ahead, he's getting free poke on the front line. So when that happens, when Chiku comes up to go for that poke, Orochi needs to have his flicker final slash to punish.
Yeah, and the way that CG are making sure that they're positioned from the opposite side of wherever the final slash could come from. When we saw that even from Amzik earlier when he was handling the top lane, Orochi couldn't do much. Couldn't even commit on the final slash because they wouldn't be really putting Amzik in a dangerous position nonetheless. So now they're left to just defend with this 6.5k gold lead in the hands of CG Esports. But Valence, okay, he gets revealed by the Magic Sentry.
When we hit critical mass and somehow Black Sentence can come back through this, no way. Can they actually? Should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh!
Once again, Doom might just be safe from this feathered airstrike too, dealing a lot of damage, but there's the real world manipulation and the electrifying beats! Gary makes sure the job gets done, but then he goes down to Amzik still here, however, and there goes Ye3. Might have to get out of this though, because now they force the fight under the turret. Chiku finds the kill onto Steffe, and a mega kill for Amzik comes through!
It looks like it could be more here. Black Sentence forcing out the feathered airstrike from their own Shin just so that they can defend.
What? Oh, since the feathered airstrike was used on the minions, now
He
they can
misses
still
stun.
go for a
Oh, he's
round
dead.
two! Purify,
This
forced
kid.
out of Shin, and it's a wipeout! CG Esports successfully take down all 5 members!
This kid, wow, had he survived that, that was an endgame scenario. Chiku and as well as Valence would give up their lives to save that last minion, and they would just close out the game. He saw the stun come out, instantly flickered. He does not want to be disrespected like that. They've got to be careful. Amzik is playing a strong game here today. Even Doom, he's playing pretty strong, but the problem is that there's too much CC targeted towards him.
The gameplay for Valence is, or the game plan for him, told by CG is, dude, just kick Doom, even if you kick him the wrong direction, it's fine. Force out his flicker. I'm okay with it because every time they see that the flicker's gone from Granger, Gary has the easiest dive of his life, just taking down Doom. And that's like 80% of the damage Black Sentence can dish out in a regular basis. Then they'll have to turn it around and play solely through their Farsa, who, again, it's so difficult for this Farsa to play.
Oh, Haidon Bush once again alongside Steffe and Orochi. They actually find a 2-man set with the
Gary.
final slash, but Gary once more. Who's gonna stop Gary from doing this? Haidon Bush falls next, and Gary still reaches for Shin. Steffe all alone, and finally the angle's right. Once more, CG Esports with the wipeout.
Beautiful, beautiful work coming in from CG's side. This is the, honest to God, this is the first time I've seen them play in this way. It's new, it's unique, I like it, and it truly speaks the brand CG. If you are gonna die,
Game
I
1.
will make your life worth it.
40 kills in total in 16 minutes and 22 seconds. To say that was action-packed would be accurate. To say that was the cleanest, not really. But man, was it entertaining. They put on a show. Black Sentence, though, in the end, outclassed, outmatched.
Hello, Philip.
And way too easy for
Good
that
evening,
joy of Gary
Rex.
to access
Talo
the
kahapon,
main
ONIC.
damage
Walang
dealers.
laban ONIC
Match point
kahapon.
for
Mamaya pa
CG.
sila.
Something I can
Mamayang
ask
8
Black Sentence
PM.
to fix is, if you're gonna end up with that, make sure you're taking your conditions. They kept fighting as if the joy was not there. But you cannot fight until you have info as to where the joy is.
I couldn't count the amount of times the Vaksha Shield Unity was just used to dive onto members and everyone else would just follow.
Yeah.
That wasn't the right call.
Just look at 90% 90% of these fights, how do they always progress? It's always, I wait for Shin to do something, then I let loose, right? Because then you
Oh,
know the
no.
borders of exactly how far you need
Wala
to
ako
be
share
to
badge.
really
Naka
get
2
some
share na
gameplay
ako.
value. And obviously, we're
Meron
looking
sa
at the
akin.
last few fights, but
Ito
this
ay nasa
similar
live
scenario
meron.
has happened at least 3
Lahat ng guest
times.
ko kahapon. Walang tama.
Fixed up their black sentence in terms of their decision.
Eh yung sa ano, yung sa prediction ba?
The glue ultimately still would have been very problematic to deal with. But you saw it. They were able to fight it out. They were making CG struggle. They weren't being able to dance with them. But in the end, forgetting about the joy, not respecting how easy it is. For a joy
Shala, may diamond pass. Ano to?
Doom, no pun intended.
It's just,
Doom was also there.
yeah, it's a tough game. It's a
Draw.
tough game for
Ano
BSC no
to?
matter what, right? Because again, they were looking for scenarios where they actually traded up. The most they got was traded evenly, or they were punching down, which is again a large reason why we saw the goal deficit end up
Meron
the way
sa
that it
akin,
was,
Bigo.
right?
Oh,
It's a
sa akin
goal
din
deficit
meron eh.
overall, but generally speaking, if they could
Ay,
minimize
sa
the
guess.
damage with the timings of their fights, they could probably
Isa
maybe
win?
get it down to a
Di mo
bounce and
binoto
get, like, I
TL
don't know,
tsaka
at least
Aurora?
a 60% discount off the deficit.
Yeah.
Towards the end, it was even approaching.
Ako may
10K.
badge ba ako? Meron
like,
po.
How many times did we see them? Twice. There was a 2-time wipeout throughout that entire
Oh,
game.
dalawang wiped
And
out.
It's as if BSE did not learn their lesson from from the repeated approach that they did in the team fights. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's
Di
not
ako
like
naka-
they did something.
Di yata ako
They
naka-open ng...
didn't do
Ay,
anything
naka-open
different.
pala ako ng
The
ML
exact
kahapon.
same
Di ako
procedure
nakalaro.
all over again for all the team fights
Sayang
that
mga
we saw.
XP ko.
And by the time you realize it's not working, you should expect that something would change, but they didn't.
Well, I think
Daming
there's
nalaglag
a-
din sa prediction
I
ah.
think they'll understand why they made the mistakes when they
Yung
saw it.
boto kasi sa Rora,
About a line of sight or how much time they
Rora
actually
PH
have.
puro
I don't
2-1.
think Shin
Then na
saw
2-0.
exactly where Chiku guys was actually sitting when the RWM happened. He was doing it in the bush halfway across the world, and 90% of the time, the rest of the team is trying to look. Even Steffe made a point to try and look for Chiku ahead of time, just to be like, where exactly is he? And then you don't have the final slash to counter engage, and then the resources start falling through. And of course, Gary.
May
once he
premium
scaled up,
supply
there's no
pala
counter.
ang
I'll give it to Black
Soul
Sentence. They were,
Vessels.
Pretty sick initiations. Like, oh, cool. Nice final slash, bro. Great bump with the shield unity. What crowd control ability do you have left, man? Here comes the joy. Here comes the rest of CG. You have nothing to deal with the glue anymore. Poor
silent
Shin,
viewer ka
poor
lang.
Gold.
Bakit
Which
eh?
I'm sure
Char.
the position
Wala
as
yung mga
well
kausap ko
as
ngayon.
anyone could
Wala
in this
kasi yung
game.
ano eh.
But of
Wala
course,
kasing
Gary
laro.
is gonna have an easy time every time.
PH.
All crowd control abilities were already used, and there's nothing to lock down this joy. Your lineup already doesn't have the hard target lockdown other than the Hilda.
No.
Can't blame Steffe. He'd want to be able to use it to start things off for
Yeah.
punish. He went 5-5-4. That's an impressive stat line. But Haidut, Bush, and Orochi could have timed their crowd control much better.
Yeah, but even if they didn't want to use the Hilda to look for engages, right? We're so used to seeing the Hildas just being the guy looking or going from behind, but I think this is your time.
Yeah, no, I think you guys have great points because at the end of the day, it's about the way that you manage the fight.
Counted
As
ba
the
yung
Suns
akin
like to
kahapon
keep
sa
doing this
Rora?
time and time again, right?
2-1.
A lot of it comes down to, can we
Oo,
actually
kasi
get access to
2-1
the
talaga yung
backline?
score
And
nila
Jeffrey
eh.
shows right here that he became an invincible wall of meat. Let's pause this for a moment, right? In the middle of this fight,
Pagka
as
tatlo
you
yung
see,
mali
a
niya
lot
sa
of the members here,
predictions,
especially where
wala
Chico
na,
is
laglag na
on
kayo.
this side, it's clear that he wants the RWM, but he doesn't let the RWM loose whenever he feels like it, right? He's particularly looking.
Dumayo ka sa
for
ibang
a lot
lugar.
comes
Sa
down to
buok.
where exactly is Shin,
Gala.
where exactly is Doom, and 90% of the time, they
M7
know that
plus
this very
53,
much
tatagos
is
ba
going
pa
to be the
75.
area that
Kaya
they
yan
want to
guys.
actually contest for.
Ilang
But they
days
don't
pa.
want to face check it. They gotta let their opponents come in first. Why? Orochi is their biggest stopper. If Orochi has ult, they are nervous to walk in. If they clump up too close together, they will die. And as soon as it happens, the RWM pops in the nick of time, and he's always outside of the range of the feathered airstrike. Now, this is one attempt. This is, well, technically the second
2-0
attempt.
hula mo
This is
saan?
the third. Once again, he's getting blasted down, but there's not enough shots on him. We're gonna see another RWM almost immediately after this as well. These fights are predetermined buy these ults. And the most important part is whether or not Shin is in range. If he's out of range, you eliminate one huge possibility. If you don't have their ults, that means Yetri and Joy can just walk in for free. Which is why Amzik, no stun, I kill you. Simple as that.
Tawa ako kay Tito kagabi. Kala ko, alam niya yung lugar pa uwi. Hindi naligaw-ligaw kayo.
A lot of these highlights look very similar.
Yes, you see? It's the same formula.
Rora Turkey. Ah, edi mali ka. 2-0 pala yung bottom mo, mali ka. Alam ko si Bigo din nag-2-0 eh.
Black sentence. Change up your timings a
Si
little bit.
Sherwin. Nag-2-1 si Sherwin, pero Falcons yung boto niya. Ay, yung 2 niya. Nalaglag pa din.
I mean,
It adds to the intensity.
it gets so frustrating at times.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's a very similar feeling to our last best of 3, but this one, I really
Basta yung
think
sa
that
Rora and Team Spirit, dun yung madaming nalaglag.
but they don't realize how valuable some of these resources are. Like, yes, the final slash is pretty short, but as soon as you win,
Ikaw yung
you're
naging
gonna see
navigator.
Silver
Wow.
Star. It's just like
Human
crazy.
ways pala, no?
17.
Yeah, I wonder how things would have been if CG
Dapat
were the
ginaya mo
ones
yung boses ng Waze.
to start the fight. Or like, how could have BSE
In
utilized their
200
resources to
meters,
turn things around? Maybe
turn
even
left.
just like Shin, or during that point in the game where Shin got the shutdowns or got a bit more gold and was able to catch up. Because all the initiations started from BSE. And it's not like all these initiations were on point or on to the right targets. So it immediately resulted to wasted resources. Like, there's no other way to put it.
I think the few adjustments that they could have made is probably towards understanding why Chiku wanted to go for this Yeve pick, right? I think this Yeve would have worked phenomenally if Shin had access to it, considering what their lineup is all about. As much as they want to have that quote-unquote burst, the peel is a lot more valuable when you are playing against like a tank style, and more so to deny it from your opponent, because now
Ano
you're
tong
not
M7
isn't
lucky
afraid of
draw?
pushing Lantern anymore.
Ano meron dito?
So much control
Daily
on the side of
surprise.
CG that
M7 guest coins. Uy, may
Finally,
M7
decided to
guest
play around
coins.
this idea for this entire series, or just for this game too, if ever they're gonna sweep it here. Because it seems like Black Sentence, that game one was so exposing in the sense of, okay, we know how they like to fight, which is, it seems like it's just, let's think about
Daily
the
ba
setup,
to?
let's think about starting things off, and then let's just go on from there. Because if we get the initiation, then it's good for us, but that is
Complete
not true
one classic
every time. What's
or
true
rank?
is
La,
our friends are really great.
bakit?
And M7 has a lot of
Di
friends.
pa ako nag
Dude,
naglalaro. Hanggang kailan ba
I'm
to?
so in debt. I'm missing 20,000 USD, and I need to pay in like a week's time.
Well, we have a solution for you. We're gonna do that, Reed.
Oh, you just gotta download Fairy Game.
Ayaw pa maniwala kagabi.
That's it? How does it work?
Dati akong pusang gala. Uy, anyways.
$20,000 US. How it works? You just have to
Nakalimutan
download
mo,
Fairy
ano,
Games on
binote
the App Store or
kagabi.
Google
Saang
Play
laro
and
ba?
play 1v1s, no teams, versus AI. I think this is the important point. It's versus AI, and you submit your
Tama
best
pala,
personal
Smurf pala
score.
naka-on
Then
dun.
you can win up to
Kaya,
20,000 USD and make
fail
more prizes
MB.
from the app. It's just that easy.
Ha?
Yeah,
Ano
you know,
daw?
excuse the debt. I'm curious. How difficult
Kaya
is this
fail.
AI? Now that I'm curious.
So, hindi pala yung, ano, hindi pala main account mo yung naka-open.
You can get a Yuzhong Emerald Dragon skin for MCGG. So from now to February 8th, reach level 45 in the Go 1 Pass to unlock that. And you purchase the Go 1 Pass to instantly unlock Yuzhong's Go 1 skin, Dragon Shade, and you reach level 75, you unlock Yuzhong's Prime skin, Cosmic Dragon. So just when you thought it's only the MLBB, the M7 pass, no, we even have a Go 1 pass for our go-goers out there.
No way! I have to complete 2 battle passes now. How am I gonna do it, man? I'm already 20,000 USD in debt as well.
Alin ba? Alin ba?
Very games. You get number 1 there. You get
Yeah.
20,000.
Sa guess ba? Nalimutan mo ba yung binoto mo sa guess?
A lot of money.
Di nga ako nakapag-guess eh. Di ko kasi na-open yung ML ko.
On the MCGG pass.
Sell both accounts, get the 10,000 back, pay the debt.
I mean, it goes to your bank account. Then I'm not good at math. Yes, let's just go with yes. Which hero do you want to see picked more between these two? So, if you missed
Oo nga pala,
yesterday's,
bumalik si Harley tsaka
we
Chip.
saw a Harley brought up by Aurora Turkey.
Parehas na Aurora gumamit
And
eh.
it won. And then Chip by Aurora Gaming PH's Light, and it won.
It just had to be both Aurora teams picking up these picks.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
If the Northern Lights were in the skies of Jakarta right now, you'd just see the images of Chip and Harley just floating by in multiple colors.
That is quite terrifying.
A phenomenon that shouldn't be happening, not natural in Jakarta, but more so, I would say Chip. I think Chip, chat, you better agree with me. If I see one of you dirty Harley players in my goddamn game, I will use my good credit with the big G upstairs to get you out.
Nakapag-guess Bisaya ang XC baka di abutin ng Prime.
Just type Harley in the chat.
Why do you hate Harley so much?
Kailangan magaling talaga mga ano yung mga hula.
Fatal 5-way?
Just use Agony Q. I think that's
Yeah, or Gideon Q, and then just DM him Harley. That's it.
No, Harley, Impure Rage.
Harley, specifically that. Who needs lethal ignition, man? The damage is already busted.
You missed out 2 kills, TNZ. I'm just saying.
Tama pala main ko, di masyado na open sma.
He ended up getting the MVP.
Di nag-guess doon, kataman magtas. Oo. Kataman magtas kung may pangalawang account pa, no? Sipag nyo naman, yung iba.
I was just as bad. Just Arthur clenching his fist.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay. Game number 2. Type it out in the comment section if you think Black Sentence will be able to win this, or will it still just go CG Swin? We're gonna see another sweep for this day of Swiss. Again, Chiku was terrific on this eve. The glue was nigh unstoppable. Valence off kicks here and there, but at the end of the day, he got the job done on that show.
Yeah, and he ended the game with a highlight kick.
He did.
At least it was in relatively the right direction, but I think that most people who weren't like paying attention to how his kicks work, usually at the very least Doom was flickering out of them, or it looks like a weird angle, but Gary's like, I've been waiting in this off angle for years.
Yeah, and to be fair, it's not just the kicks. There was this one moment in the top lane where he also got to deny Doom from recalling
Yeah.
with that last phase of the Jeet Kundo. They didn't convert that into a kill, but like that was one of the many things that they were able to do. So they just were the ones setting the tempo for that game, which BSE did not like clearly. So
Yeah, it was a very good read. And I think, to be fair, with the bans that Black Sentence decided to go for, Juice and Claude Fanny, they picked up the Hilda. It seems like today,
today,
why has today been like, whoever gets a Cho in Blue 2-3 just ends up winning?
I think
CFU did it twice, won, dominated. CG got the Cho again, dominated.
I personally believe that right now the easy adjustment is just pick up Gatot. Because again, both sides play for mid laners that want artillery. Just pick the Gatot. And then you know that Chiku plays Lunok, so you just have to just play around that or ban it out. It's not that
yeah,
difficult.
I agree. I wonder because even for Team Zone, they used to prio pick the Gatot. They didn't at all in that entire game. What they did was go for the high loss. And now, in this scenario, they prio pick the Baksha. So there have been some interesting prio picks in the red side.
If there's something that I could have changed, I think it would have been the Baksha priority. Again, they did not need to pick that up. It was not gonna, they were not gonna lose it.
Yun, game 2 na.
Of course, little birdie told us that what if maybe these two know each other a little bit too well and decided that the Baksha was priority.
I feel like there is more that meets the eye, right? Because it's one of those draft patterns from both CG and as well as BSE that felt very intentional, yet I couldn't see the logic until the first initial picks come through, right? So it's not like it's telegraphed to them, but it's curiosity for us. Let's see if the adjustments are going to be the exact same thing, because now we're seeing that BSE, yeah, see, right? The Claude ban is maintained despite being on blue side.
So we're gonna see the exact or some similar picks. The Yuzhong 2 still open for both sides. That's been banned earlier, if I'm not mistaken. There you go.
This is turning out to be the exact same draft, right? If not, at least the exact same bans.
Yeah. Even though they switch sides, it's still the same priorities.
Except for this. I think this was on the blue side earlier.
Yeah.
Yes. Ban out Eve.
I think
Just get rid of it.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Let's just get rid of it.
So that leaves the
priority
Juiced
of Shin.
open.
Oh, you're right. Jushin is wide open. Ooh, that kind of sucks. Okay, you know what? You ban out the Jushin. You give over Farsa, Yve. You choose, and then we pick Artillery Mage, or just Gato Jungler.
Yeah, checks out. Zone's gone. So
Oh,
okay, they open up both.
Also-
Yeah. So because if whatever Black Sentence picks, everyone just goes Lance first, knowing that it's just gonna be a fight between Eve and Jushin in terms of the mid prio.
All right, Carl TZ, let's see how it's gonna go, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is
Unang
very
result,
bold. Even the GOAT
2-0
himself locked it in
yung
and
unang
dropped
match.
the game when it mattered. So Hilda,
Yep.
look at that.
That's what you get for prioritizing Lancelot.
Okay.
Easiest two picks, CG.
Should we see?
Everyone for.
Should we see Gatot now? Or maybe... I don't think you'd want to Cho either in this kind.
Honestly, hot take, maybe pick up the glue early on. Can't
the
latch on
blue
the
early.
E. Don't latch on to the hill.
Still high loss.
I don't think it's a bad idea, but I think that it will suffer in the second half, because then you can really start to pinch down on your opponents. It kind of depends whether they committed to it or not, but high loss carry, I think is really, really safe.
And also there are a lot of much better EXP laners open. The Lapu Lapu's also still open.
Yeah.
Remember, the Lapu Lapu would be more than happy to go up against a lineup that has the glue. Granger for CG, so now this time they're going to be playing the Black Sentence back line focused lineup.
Wow.
Take out the Jushin, and now Shin might actually run out of heroes here. Just to even add more to it, CG just straight up bans Farsa, and then now Shin is gonna have to play something like a
Lunox.
Kimi or a Lunox. Or a Valentina if he's up for it, but then...
There needs to be a bigger reason other than just RW.
Yeah.
There has to be a bigger reason. Baxia is gonna get banned out this time around. Okay, so with the high loss...
0-1 na. Go CG daw.
CG is very unlikely.
Ipanalo mo ako weekly diamond pass. Tama ba lahat ng predict mo nung kahapon? Pwede po ba makahingi ng emote?
But other than that, there's not a lot of mobility to actually work with this point and click stun if they stand just next to the high loss.
Trading in the mid might be difficult here for Black Sentence, considering that Chico has the Eve.
Oh my goodness.
That is actually a Shin favorite pick.
So they're okay with the Farsa and
considering that the red 4 pick, even if they just decide to show, okay, we'll just pick up a hero here right now that can just easily dive the Farsa, then they're fine with it.
yeah, that's right.
Hello, Jorel. May pag-asa pa kaya? Sana all. Pag-asa saan ba?
Yeah, the Joy finally gets banned out. Now it's going to be purely based on the... It's going to be purely based on the performance of Gary. I mean, he can go for Yishin Shin if he wants to, and it still wouldn't be much of an issue for him. They could go for... I mean, Hayabusa seems really, really safe.
Tama lahat ng predict ko kahapon. Sana ngayon rin tumama. Sana.
I'm okay with it. Pick up an EXP now. Reveal the Hilda.
Tingin nga nung ano,
Adjust your jungler.
predict
Whether
mo.
it's gonna be the Hayabusa as the last assassin, or you suddenly swerve and you go Fredrin. So you have a tank jungler. Yes, you're up against a carry, but then you only pick that up if you don't see something like the Kimi or anything that could really give it difficulty. If you want to play solely or on your Granger and Eve, because if they also go assassin here early on, that's 3 carries already. So they show it, they'll go for EXP.
That's such a great pick.
Which is exactly why. They go Vengeance. It makes sense now to actually pick up the Fredrin as their last pick if it can actually go well with whatever Black Sentence finals picks here.
Yeah, very, very interesting here. Now, Esmeralda will eventually come to a point where the Esme outscales the CC, but it really depends on what the CC's build is, right? Because CC becomes a lot less tanky and has scalable damage, assuming that you have access to things like Hunter Strike, things like, obviously, War Axe, but most importantly, having access to Sea Halberd, right? Once you get that Sea Halberd on top of the Hunter Strike, then you've got a pretty decent chance. But there we go. Finally, the Nulok shows up right at the very end. You don't need to do anything crazy anymore.
So much red, maybe. Yeah. Frederick's gonna
so.
struggle.
Hola.
Yeah. Frederick, after the Lunox showed up, it's like, yeah, this is gonna be really
Ba't
tough for
mahina
Fred,
daw
so just
yung
go for the Lunox,
sounds?
and then you get
Halos
Fred.
di marinig.
Excuse me, no
Meron
lag,
naman.
and then you get the
Humihina
damage.
kasi
So,
yung boses
a
ng
lot of options for
casters.
CG Esports,
Pag
in
nag-i-explain
terms of their
sila.
damage department. They can
Mamaya
either
pagka medyo
Ranger,
intense na yung
Nolan,
laban,
their CG
sisigaw
has a
na
big
sila.
pickup as well.
Yep.
Well, for Black Sentence, it's very honest for both. Quite too honest, maybe, but maybe we're gonna see another kill fest between the two. Lineup rating favors CG in terms of the late game.
Yeah, I'm loving CG's lineup
excuse me, early
because
to
of the CZ op CGCC, the CC and the
The
CG, yeah,
CGCC,
the
yes.
CGCC. It's just because it feels like it's so easy to use the curtain call
Yeah.
in this scenario, and it soft counters the Lancelot, and it just like makes things so much more difficult, even if you want to go run over towards your opponent. So let's see how BSE could potentially turn things around here.
Welcome to
Even
not
though
worried.
it was mentioned in the first phase of
What?
the draft, it was already quite.
Why do you sound so worried? I mean, they've got a chance to even it out 1-1. It's anybody's game, and yes, CG may look quote-unquote cleaner, but it doesn't mean that it's a guaranteed win. BSE, if they get like an early first blood, this is gonna get a lot harder.
Oh, but wait, that early first blood might actually be Balance if he did not use the flicker there. So now we see the revitalize effect.
It's a little bit too eager to take that trade in the center, huh?
Ah,
It's a trade, but look at Shin. He is making sure that he is putting the hurt onto Chiku, right? Every single time. Like, Chiku, as much as he can poke out Shin, he's just healing off the wave every time, which Chiku cannot do.
Very easy for a Lunox to self-sustain at the center. Also, maybe one of the best that you can do to pack up against an Eve. Still, Valence wants to fight this. Can easily get movement speed for himself, but without a flicker, he'll need to be a little bit more tactical of when he decides to take those fights.
Yeah, because again, even if they try to go for the all-in, there's a very good chance that Shin actually wins out in the fight because there's just more bodies that he could heal off of. Chiku just doesn't have the raw burst damage just yet, right? Let's not forget that even for Steffe, that Revitalize, very low cooldown. It's already 19 seconds before it's off, and then maybe could potentially save somebody else's life. I am curious about the top side, though. Is Ye3 winning the lane as hard as he possibly can?
well, seems like he's somehow forcing Orochi to not overextend as much, and the fact that Gary too is currently over there, but it seems like they're gonna change their priorities a bit. They want to go for the mid lane, but instead Balance will be the first to fall. First blood for Black Sentence, and it's Haidon Bush who gets it.
Yep. Balance was probably hoping that he could live a little bit longer there, but just the raw damage coming in from Hide on Bush gonna be enough to take him out. On top of Shin, let's not forget Shin.
A much better start for Black Sentence here, and Shin,
Gary?
speaking of Shin, finds Gary! And now, instead, Amzik will be the one to trade things out. Steffe though, oh no. CG Esports 2 will find 2.
Oh, that was so dangerous. Thank God Amzik checked that and saw the light wheel coming out. That would have been an awful way to die.
Yeah, Doom would have been ready. Let's look at the hand cam brought to us by the Realme 15 Pro 5G, the M7 official gaming phone highlight onto Haidon Bush, who was able to get the first turn of the game and now dash in and out in
my
this one.
gosh.
Kin?
Chiku forced to flicker out. Black Sentence are dealing with Valence really, really well so far. It's like they're not afraid to throw out their damage.
Yep, they shouldn't be because, again, they have a lot of ways to actually maintain themselves in this fight. And let's not forget that Valence, his debuff for the Power Wilderness is all based off of, hey, are you using armor? Does my mid laner use armor? No. So literally he's getting a net nothing from it, other than maybe Amzik and arguably even Gary. So every time you see Gary, Ye3, or even Amzik looking for maybe an entrance in, Valence is going to be your trigger finger.
Amzik now double laning here, just to speed up his farming process. He does have a lead over the carry, floating around 400 to 500 gold.
He's got to be patient. They got to be extremely patient because those first items, especially when you start developing a 2-K lead, the neutral objectives suddenly become uncontestable.
Yeah, and their rotations can be an opening for Black Sentence once again, since Steffe and Shin are not really letting go of this river control, and they've been constantly trying to burst down members of CG Esports who passed through But fortunately, they regain control of it though, and force out a reaction somehow from Steffi.
Valens just man-to-man marking this guy. Okay.
Okay, so glorious pathway and the real world manipulation both used at the same time.
Boom!
Chiku actually takes the turtle for CG Esports, and now they're trying to look for the kills as well. Steffi goes down, but so does Chiku. Orochi dealing so much damage and zoning. Haidon Bush will show himself up, and now CG will disengage.
Oh,
Gary.
Oh my goodness!
yeah! Nicely done by Gary. He understood that somebody was going to walk down. The high likelihood that it was going to be either maybe Shin or, in this case, Doom, he got him for sure. Wait.
They actually want to go for Orochi. Oh, Falling Star Moon lands onto
What?
both of them though. Valent has to run away!
No!
Now the flicker finishes off the kill.
Wow. Orochi 1v2s that.
Yeah, that's
Who would have guessed?
Esmeralda, right? We can handle him. Don't worry about the shield that you get for yourself, Hilda. It'll be okay.
I don't know what the decision there was, but I think they kind of forgot how this hero works. But that's fine. That's fine. This is just a lethal reminder not to put your shields in front of Esme.
Yeah, I have a feeling that CG Esports was way too greedy in getting Amzik another Sky or getting Amzik a Sky Piercer stack, because he built up the Sky Piercer before that turtle. So that means Valens was probably like, "Hey, Amzik, you want to get this guy? It's an Esmeralda. He's really low. You want to stack, bro?"
Dude, that
Of course,
sounds like,
Amzik. You can't blame him for saying, "Oh yeah, please, I want to stack."
that sounds like a great idea. I'm 1 in 3. Oh.
Don't be fooled. And now Valent gets slowed so much.
Bro.
Nowhere to run for the Hilda. Ye3
Oh.
all alone here. Uses the
Oh.
Vengeance. Tries to take on Doom. But now he sees Shin and Steffi running after him. Fortunately, there's no glorious pathway anymore. And with the Cyclone Eye, where is he planning to go?
Keep running circles.
Oh,
Just give it to the tower, yeah, 3.
Yeah. He's gonna go for an execute.
Oh.
Wait, can he go for an execute? No, he went back into combat. Yeah, now he's dead here no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sort of tried dealing with the waves before going down, but
Honestly, it's not a bad idea, right? Because now the waves, especially on top side, is going to be on a slow push in favor of
Yeah.
CG.
Actually, it all worked out in the end. Even though he decided to give the kill away to a member of CG instead of just giving it to the minions.
Brilliance forced out. Real world manipulation once again. Steffi using it to slow everyone down, and Black Sentence secures the turtle. Amzik 2 forced to flicker out. Great response from Black Sentence so far.
I don't like the risks that CG Esports are taking. They were posturing for a 4v5 without Ye3, and they didn't have the key positions on the map to actually find the fight in the first place. Keep in mind, Amzik is going to be the main win condition other than Chiku, who wants to poke out his targets.
Yeah, Chiku hasn't had a similar game compared to game number 1, for sure. Black Sentence have handled this equals better. Look at Shin again!
They're going for the dive. Thorned Rose, another puncture in, but there's a stun! Now Haidon Bush goes down. Falling Star Moon targeting Valens. He's in the bush, but it's not gonna matter. Now Ye3 and Amzik trying to work on Orochi. He's running away. There is a decent amount of damage, but it's not gonna be enough. It's an Esmeralda that gets to escape.
The most painful thing about that is that Black Sentence couldn't even get the last hit on the tower that they needed.
Yeah.
That hurts.
It hurts. I was like, man, that tower's gotta go at some point. Nah, still gonna be alive, and they're gonna lose and trade a tower down on the bot side. That's gonna be another T1 missing. Top and a bottom are gone. In terms of items, though, I'm waiting for Gary to get to that point where he starts one-shotting targets, right? And I think he's almost there. The big issue right now is the fact that these boots are saving certain people. Doom, he's basically gonna get one-shot no matter what, but this Esmeralda is kind of untouchable.
Yeah. Who else could deal with it? I mean, Amzik was trying.
They need Chico to get a wishing lantern first.
Oh. Now Orochi shows up.
Chico needs a wishing lantern and a divine blade, because eventually Orochi's gonna get a radiant armor, right?
Oh, now they burst Orochi down! Wait! But with the flicker, he's actually able to stay alive! Gary instead will be the casualty of that fight. Valens going in, Ye3 2 using the curtain call and the yo-yo blitz. But all that for Gary!
Yeah, the Steph is stunned, man. The high loss.
What can you do? What can you do? Honestly, they got pretty close to bursting him down. Luckily, the Dreadnought armor really negates like a good chunk of that on top of the extra stun coming in from Steffe. But at this point, I think that CG Esports need to identify... Wait, hold on.
Oh, they're going for Valens this time around. Valens has to run away, but with the glorious pathway, he gets slowed so much. Okay, another flicker forced out of Amzik, and it seems like Black Sentence are in control so far. Ye3 has the curtain call. Does he use it already? He does, but without their retribution, they do not get to secure the objective. Now they're just trying to go for the chase. They will deny this purple buff. And that's about it for CG Esports.
Yep, that's as good as it gets. If they can get this mid-tier 1, I think even better.
Oh! And they get Orochi too. I think that's way better for CG Esports.
Dang, Amzik is slick with it. Like, I knew he was slick with it back at MPL MY, but on an international stage, it's looking real good.
Yeah, 2-0 and 5. Black Sentence got the Lord, but they lost a lot out of that one.
Uh-oh.
It's a question of can they even make something out of it. Gary now getting chased.
Shit is here too, and there are minions. There's no way out if you were Gary.
There's so many arguments that can be made right now, but for now, CG just need to defend, right? They just need to minimize the economical damage. They created small leads, but now that the structures are going to start falling down, that should put them at like, what, at 800? Yep, down to 500 now as they look for mid-tier 1.
Oh, Sleepy.
Don't let them.
Another beautiful
Shin
Morgan
again.
pathway, but from the sides. The damage from Shin and Doom are a bit too much for CG Esports to deal with. Not when they're frontliners, not when Valens gets bullied so much on this Hilda, even before he gets to do anything.
Latin America's brightest talent in a long time. 3-1 and 6. The entries have been perfect, and we felt it all throughout.
Wala,
Even
nag-pause.
the early game.
Nag-lord kasi sila, charing.
The timing,
Pinong si Ate Kleng.
all so good.
And they keep on
Okay.
finding these timings. CG
Ano muna?
need to start tightening up how they
Water
play
break
around that.
muna.
They just assume
Water
that they
break,
move
water
faster,
break.
therefore
Good
they're not
evening,
gonna get there in
everybody.
time. But these
Sa
interceptions
mga
now that the mid-tier
bagong
ones are-
pasok.
the tier ones
Anyong
on
sa iyo.
the bottom are missing. They
Anyong
need
sa
space
inyo.
with the mid-T1 to be destroyed. That's when you have full access to enemy jungle. That's when you
Ay,
have
may
more
86 points na si
aggressive,
Jorel.
things to be able to get to places without getting punished too
Sa mga hindi aware, meron tayong ipunan ng points sa YT live stream. Mag-comment lang kayo ng mag-comment. Makakaipon kayo ng points, and kapag naka 1,000 na kayo, pwede na kayong mag-redeem ng epic skin. 5 epic skin lang ang pwedeng ma-redeem, may isa nang nakakuha. So kung gusto nyo lang naman mag-ipon, lipat kayo sa YT live stream ko.
Year 3, the CC. And that's pretty much a decent target for whoever your damage dealers are right now too.
Yeah, I think they were really able to set the
Hello, Mark.
here after what they were able to do in Valence.
Masyadong grid daw, Val. Kanina pa pala yan.
The Hilda really well. They forced the flicker out early. First turtle comes up, and without the flicker, the Hilda fell down very quick. So now through that, they know that, okay, what could have been a Hilda snowball has already been managed. We're handling the lane really well. So let's look at the top 5 banned heroes for the M7 Swiss stages so far. Of course, Juicin up there, constantly banned and contested here, but a 40% ban rate. If he's not banned, most likely the Juicing gets picked up. But this is a really good picture of what teams see as some of the best. Fanny, a year later, still up there in the most banned.
Nakabalik mo lang, kaya 86 pa lang yung ano eh.
The kid is diverse, and the kid has
Points
such a
mo.
high level of skill expression that no numbers will really change the fact that she can be across the map in less than a minute. Yeah.
Especially with the changes in terms of the energy so far, the regeneration. So when you see games where the Fanny's on the losing end and they just defend miraculously because of the repetitive cabling over the crystal. So yeah, I think there have been a lot more highlights for the Fanny recently because of the changes.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about Fanny? They keep increasing the ceiling, but players easily maybe give it like a 2 or 3 weeks. It's like, all right, no, we're good. We're still back. It still feels like Fanny hasn't been touched at all.
Yeah.
There are no nerfs. What do you mean nerfs? It was just something just happened.
Although the thing about Fanny at the very least is that I feel that there's enough skill expression where the scaling just depends on how well you execute at the end of the day, right? Like it's clearly designed in a way you want to play mid to early. If you happen to get into the late game, you're going to have to like really go above and beyond to try and make that happen. But now we're coming to the end of the technical part.
XT Zoy, hello. Shout out daw from Mount Chitanglad. Hello po.
Let's jump back into the game real soon.
Shout
here.
out Suprema
Let's see how this breaks
Place.
out, right? Because Lunok
Kaso walang madalas na nagmamarites dito. Oh, wala nga eh.
Like any tanks walking up is gonna get poked out harder than Chiku can apply pressure.
Speaking of tanks, I don't think Valens has a magic defense item yet.
Oh no, he does not.
Oh yeah, so he only has the Chastis and the Dominance Ice.
But you do get magic defense from the Dumb Eyes, so
Oh yeah,
should be okay. Take 40? 40 apiece, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, it's not much when you're up against the Lunox. That's
True.
the big issue, right? It doesn't matter how much MR you actually have. Other than the Athena shield, it kind of feels a little sad.
So at this point, would you rather build the Athena shield or the Radiant armor?
You kind of need a little bit of both, right? Because the Radiant armor makes sense when you're fighting Orochi, but the Athena shield is particularly good for Shin because once you're in that darkening form, you're machine gunning. If you're not machine gunning, you're wasting time.
yeah. Especially if they go in and for the surprise, because you never know at this point. Shin might not even care about Valens anymore. Just go for a big play.
Oh, Shin, speaking of Shin, you just mentioned now has a Divine Glaive, so it's not going to be a fun time for Valens at all. At this point, he's wishing that he has an Athena shield. Even Year 3 doesn't really have magic defense per se in like the most rawest, purest form. Everyone on the side of CG is just going to fall down quickly to Shin's Lunox if they cannot get it down quickly.
Much better game for Shin. Year 3 doesn't use the curtain call just yet, but that was a great dodge that we saw from Haidon Bush. Are they forcing a fight here before the Lord?
No, they're probing. They're probing for a reaction against Black Sentence, right? If they get too caught up in the probing, then they're going to take that fight, and CG is more than happy to start peeling away because they've got plenty of peel with Chiku guys alone. Oh my god.
Great poke. Great poke from Amzik.
By the way, he has not died yet. He does have a single stack on that Sky Piercer
Yeah.
from his second kill. That can easily just start chaining. Black Santas needs to watch it.
Oh, Gary tries bursting down Orochi, but now they just decide to go for it. There's the glorious pathway, the falling star moon. Year 3 forced to use the vengeance as well. But every single one of CG Esports is still alive. The real world gets cancelled. Gary tries to go for Shin, but the damage is not enough. Fortunately, Year 3 finishes it off, but I'm sick all alone. How is he able to do this? Orochi's chasing after him, but he still has the flicker. That's a 2-for-3 trade so far.
Amzik's out of bullets here, but he'll be able to get back to base. Meanwhile, it's Lancelot and Carry. It's Haidon Bush, Doom, and Orochi able to secure this Lord for Black Sentence. Orochi stands in front of the Death Sonata, and now CG will have to defend with his Lord push.
I think Valens has to get on top of Orochi. I think he has to put the debuff onto Orochi to allow Amzik to actually deal some relevant damage, because right now Chiku is just not cutting it. Look at the way that this fight actually plays out, right? Chiku is point blank in their faces with the RWM. It's a great angle, don't get me wrong, but you put yourself in such a dangerous spot that both Steffe alongside with Orochi is able to do whatever they want. They had their way with him.
So long as Orochi's there, CG is always gonna have a problem.
It's going to be a bigger problem if they just leave it be. What else? Where's Chiku currently at? He's already got the Divine Glaive and the Wishing Lantern. It's not that like he doesn't have enough damage.
His front line, dude. Front line is falling down way too quick.
They just need to peel slowly. Just let your boy Chiku do the work, right? Let him walk up. Let him try and get those Void Blasts down. Let him get those procs.
Okay. They'll be defending this Lord down bottom first, but they decide to commit so much shit also going in. And look at the amount of damage that they're able to deal. Real world to stop them though. Curtain call coming in from Year 3 alongside the vengeance, but they cannot find any kills. It's only Orochi that goes down. They're probably gonna be happy with that, and they're gonna try to look for more, but Black Sentence don't wanna fight.
You can see how hesitant Gary is. He's like, I could go further. Dash Retry, get him, Amzik.
I really thought he'd bounce after getting that retry off. It's like, oh, he just wanted to get the slow. Oh no, he actually really doesn't want to.
I don't want to go in, Chief.
I don't want to do this, man.
Amzik
Way too risky.
Dude, I can only imagine that Amzik, he's a really humble, really nice kid.
Yeah.
But imagine if Chiku's good old, like, toxic goal laner traits rub off on him. He's screaming at Gary, jump him! Why are you scared? Die for me!
CG, though, were able to defend that well. Black Sentence got as good as it could get. Pretty sure they wanted to get that mid tower too, but they ran out of the minions, and with how CG were defending, they needed to back off. Amzik now has 2 stacks on the Sky Piercer that still, I mean, it's not as bad as like having more than 50, but still, it's 2 stacks to work with.
Yay, Valence also has the Athenas now.
Oh, he should be able to survive a little bit
A
more.
little bit.
But Shin has been positioning very well in the fights. Chico having a really hard time reaching the Lunox with real world manipulation.
This is so sad. He's participated in so many fights. Only 20 stacks, 7 assists. Feels bad. I mean, a lot of it just comes down to Orochi and Stefe just blocking a majority of the shots. There's so many times where it's like, oh, somebody's down to 1 HP, and Gary's like, man, I really don't want to die for this, but I have to.
Oh, Steppe again as the target.
Whoa!
Unfortunately, gets to dash away from the glorious pathway. Now the Wind of Nature is forced
Hello?
out. Chico, Amzik, 2 crucial players get taken down by Black Sentence even before the fight is able to happen. Valence, Yethri, and Gary, they're the only ones left to defend this incoming siege. Doom, every single member of Black Sentence is still alive. Shin goes in once again, not even with the Athena shield. Can Valence survive this? Black Sentence
Uy,
are bringing
tapos.
us to game 3.
Nicely
Aba,
done
may
by Black
game
Sentence,
3.
Really taking advantage of the disrespect coming in from Valence, and most importantly, took advantage of a Lunox. Yes, she does so much burst damage. Hide in a couple of bushes, take him out, put him behind. That's what you want to see.
Future looking bright here for Black Sentence. And for Latin America, they force CG, the runner-ups, to MPL Malaysia Season 16, all the way to 3 games. Again, this is an elimination match. If CG wins this, maybe to some
Putol ang
people,
prediction ni Aaron. Ay, hindi ko pala nabisita yung prediction. Oh, goodbye. Weekly Diamond Pass pala si Aaron.
M series after a very long time. Shin was excellent on this Lunox.
Really, really great stuff coming in from BSE. Throughout this entire fight, we have to make sure that a lot of the members, and the one thing I don't get here is why is Valence just kind of watching him? He's just like looking at him. It's just like, what am I gonna do? I feel like he already used his abilities, which is why he didn't really participate. He had no ult, wasn't able to get mini stuns off as well. Would have liked him to actually try and just, you know, die for it, but even so, at the end of it all, there's just more scaling on the side of BSE in comparison to CG.
You can see how their comms are going. They knew that they had it already. The moment that we weren't able to see the value out of the Hilda disrupting as much of BSE and their early rotations, things started to get or look a bit sideways. Chico, it's not like all of the attention was onto Chico anymore even. I feel like majority of the attention in the early stages of the game fell onto Valence. And that was so difficult for CG here because Valence was such a crucial player to set the tempo and to start things off for CG, but he got
Madami din pala nag 2-0 sa ano, CFU, ay, BSE, CG.
Wow, CG, I'm pretty sure they were thinking that, hey guys,
Wala, dami din nalaglag.
we'll be able to get rid of this week. Cool, after what happened game number 1, I don't see much from Black Sentence. Suddenly gets turned around after them, which is funny because considering the bans that they went for were really just focusing so hard into what the roam mid trio can do. They took out Grak, Kalea, Juice, and Selena, 4 heroes devoted just for the roam mid alone, and then just, of course, use man.
and they knew
just put it there.
and they knew they were responding to a Lancelot first pick.
Yeah.
Everything looked like it was going so well.
I think that the wrench in the plans had to be the Hilda, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the biggest blunder there throughout the entirety of the draft.
Wala, daming 2-0.
How they started it off with Valence getting forced out of the flicker and him dying in Turtle 1 just started a chain of events which led to this. Shin going 5-2 and 9. Because after that initial trade, with Valence no longer being able to comfortably front for
Laglag ka pala sa ano eh. CFU Z1, Aaron. 2-0 yung CFU Z1, tas 1-2 yung bottom mo. Ay, yung ano mo, yung prediction mo.
Shin was able to comfortably find kills, get farm alongside Stefan.
Yep. And
Laglag
it's
ka
not
na
just
pala
Shane you
talaga
gotta worry about. Even
sa
Dude,
weekly
right? You
Diamond
have
Pass.
two possible people who basically just melt you down like butter, and yet you have to be the one that actually opens up the map. Because if Chico does it, Shin's just gonna darkening forward and just blast him and force out a flicker, right? At the end of it all, I think that Orochi caused way too many problems for this team. And there was a really good argument for Amzik to not be on this Granger and actually play for a Trinity-style marksman like Moskov. But let's really break down this game. Some of the major moments that we see really came down to the early fights, because honestly, I gotta give it to BSE. They played one hell of a game. They fixed their early a lot. Their neutral objective controls, huge A+. But I think they now are really taking advantage of the draft to hurt CG. Do not give them heroes that scale that well. If you need a snowball hero like Granger, it's okay. As long as we kill him one time within the period of 8 minutes while he has Sky Piercer, you reset him back to basically nothing. But as these fights continue to progress, notice the shape of the fights. They're always fighting in enemy territory. They want to make sure that they're really close to at least one of these lanes. So maybe Hide on Bush could either charge down their targets, utilizing that wave, or better yet, just chasing the entire team down. Which is why we see, as much as CG wants to play from many different angles, from top side to bottom side, doesn't matter. If they
May
split
laban po
apart,
TL
it's a
ngayon.
tough
Wala
fight. If they
po.
stick together, it's just
Sa
more
knockout
value
stage
for
na
BSE.
sila. Di ko pa alam kailan schedule ng knockout stage eh.
Hide on Bush 2 was
Tignan
a bit
ko
too
nga.
free during this entire game. The fact that they got to force out the flicker early and denied balance of the potential invades, Hide on Bush got to complete the farming rotations that he wanted to. And all his entries too were very much on point throughout this entire game. Like whenever he just wanted to dive in and look for Chico, I think Chico mainly was the guy who just couldn't settle with the real world manipulation unlike he did in the previous
Yeah.
game because
Wala
of his
pa pala.
lag.
Well, I mean, he also isn't like 6-1.
Wala
for,
pa palang
8 minutes. That's also another
knockout
big factor.
stage.
But besides that, I really think that there was a bit of a blunder down
date.
to the drafting phase specifically. You're preempting for an instant counter onto a potential Lancelot when really every time you see these Hildas in these bad matchups, what's the counterplay? Just have a support that just clears faster than your opponents and then just move your dudes down. You get pulled back by like, what, 4 seconds on the delay, maybe 6 seconds?
Sabi ni Google,
Doesn't matter,
January
those 6 seconds
18
are
daw
super
ang
soon. As your mid laner
knockout
shows up, it
stage.
helps you full clear.
It's one of those
Yung
games
start,
where
so
you can see why us casters love to put a lot of
pwedeng
focus
January
on mid
18 sila.
priority. Who gets to clear minion waves faster, who forces
Anong
out
day?
battle spells first during
Anong day ba
the
yun?
first 3 to 4 minion waves at the center of the map, because you get this. These are the kind of results that you get, wherein theoretically the Hilda should be able to mess up
Sunday?
the lineup that has the
O
Lancelot.
dire-diretso?
If it's not the Lancelot he's messing up, it's
Walang
easy for the
pahinga
Hilda
yun.
to access Shin, access Doom, because Orochi and Steph have
Feeling
to
ko
spend a
hindi
little bit
naman
more
18.
time going forward, the glorious pathway forward. But then what if the Hilda suddenly struggles because they messed up in the first few minion waves? This is what you get.
Exactly. And I think the biggest adjustment for the side of CG is when they start to divide their resources. Because I feel like there were so many moments where they could have done that. They could have just sent Gary up to the top side, and after that, you know, send Valens down to the bottom side, and whoever gets a kill, it's like, it's great.
Una na daw
They want one of
mag-sleep
the
si
side players.
Joral.
Yeah,
Good
I guess one of the things
night.
they tried was the double laning and
Aga
all
pa
that
ba?
for Amzik,
7.
but like, since it was all on Amzik now, it's a bit too hard to continue and pull off.
So now we're actually going to have an interview with someone who was actually a member of Influence or Rage. It's Papa Dog. He's an EXP laner. Now he's here with Black Sentence. And I believe he's actually here to help guide the team. Let's learn a little bit more about what's he doing here.
Hey guys, Rose here. Right now I'm outside of Black Sentence's player room to have a little bit of a chat with Papa Dog, one of their subs. Hello, how are you right now? That was a very intense game too.
Nagbago na. Ayaw magpuyat.
Sensación muy intensa, la verdad.
Patulong mas report ito, FB.
Perdimos la primera, ganamos la segunda. Ahora viene la
Nakakahiya
tercera partida, que seguramente va a ser
pinaggagawa.
muy
Ano
emocionante.
ginagawa niya?
The first match was very difficult, but the second one became very hot. So let's.
Kakilala mo ba yan or sinisiraan
Yeah,
ka
just
ba?
now I was passing by, I managed to look at the player room of CG Esports. They look quite intense. They look very stressed and like really focused. And then when I took a peek at Black Sentence's player room, the players were just chilling on the sofa as if a do or die match is not currently happening. How are they so chill?
Bueno, el clima está muy tranquilo, la verdad que los chicos están muy contentos, saben que es una victoria, estamos 1-1, es una serie muy importante. Es importante siempre después de cada partida, independientemente de ganar o perder, resetear la mente y enfocarse en la siguiente partida.
They are very chill, very happy. They know the
Nagkakalat
importance
sa
of the first
Thailand.
match, but they are going to play and going to win it.
Yeah, I could also understand that maybe discipline was also something that they have implemented in the game just now, right? Back then, just
Ano
now,
ba?
after
Kabastusan
game
ba?
one, it was a very
Ganon?
crucial game, right? What did you guys do in the player room to make sure that they had what it takes to bounce back better for game 2? Was there any discussion that happened? Anything at all?
Es importante, creo que después de una derrota, animarnos todos mutuamente porque somos un equipo y saber que lo que pasó en una partida se queda en esa partida y a comenzar la otra partida porque es un nuevo comienzo y es otro comienzo.
Like they got a peppy rally. They talked a lot because what happened in the first game stay in the past. They got focused in the second one, and that happened.
Yeah, we leave the previous game just as it is, just where it is supposed to stay at, which is the past. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about your players. We know that Shin and Orochi are new in the pro scene, of course, as a mentor and, of course, as somebody who's a little older than them. How do you advise them mentally or, anything at all?
Sí, siempre intento transmitir la confianza y mi experiencia a lo que es dentro del competitivo, transmitirle que más allá de todo, siempre en cada juego den el 100% de ello y sobre todo que se diviertan, ¿no? Porque al final de cabo si estás acá es porque amas el juego.
One thing that's very important is give like 100% of him in every single match. That's for him the most important thing.
I agree, 110% is always
Yeah.
very, very much needed in every game. Now, as we dive into the final game of this series, it's literally a best of one at this rate. Is there any advices or anything you want to say to the boys inside the player room?
Que lo den todo y se diviertan.
But basically, he's saying to have fun.
Yes, just have fun. As intense as the game is, always remember to have fun. You know what? Thank you so much. Thank you. I wish you guys the very best of luck in this last game of your series. In a potential do or die match, there's nothing we could do except for head into this game. CG versus Black Sentence. You didn't use your mic.
Gracias, Rosa. Imagine if we were in Latam and then we could just hear about Rosa.
I wish. I
Yeah.
really wish I could just go verbatim, word for
Yeah.
word, be able to translate everything.
Yeah, me encanta saber de ti, Papa Dog. Great to hear from Papa Dog as always. Brigida here also with Gideon. And now it's time for us to talk about some more friends. This is my favorite portion of doing this every time, every year. Secret Lab!
Okay, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do it?
Well, Gideon always has the banger ones for
No, I
Secret
mean
Lab.
the.
so-
What?
Oh wait, wait,
Oh,
what happened to me?
oh my
What
God, be
happened to
careful.
me? Wait.
Bring it up.
Oh, it seems that you've reduced the chair down to its
Oh, wait.
minimum size with the Secret Lab Titan Evo. The way for ergonomics. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, you can go
Yeah.
for it. That was what I was asking.
Okay,
Okay. Look at him. Look at him.
Wait, someone else join
Okay.
doing this.
Oh, you can do
Bring
it. You can do it. You can do it.
It's
Go
okay.
wide, go wide of the green. I'll do it.
Okay,
He's
fine.
he's got it. For the elite stage, for friends climbing to Mythic, Secret Lab can elevate your game with tournament-grade ergonomic support. The very same kind that powers the pros on the elite stage. So scan the QR code and pick one up for yourself here today. Because I've been sitting on these Secret Labs for 11 years.
Yeah.
11 years. I gotta bring that photo. It shows clearly I was sitting on a Secret Lab.
Yeah, maybe at this point, if you had the Secret Lab 11 years ago, I mean, it's just the natural course of time that things degrade. It would be an E-crit Lab to this point. But now, Secret Labs, sturdy as all hell, still going strong. And hey, if you're a Granger main, we saw it. Granger starting to make a little bit of a comeback here in the M series. You can get his new Thunder Ascendant skin available right now. Unlock the M7 pass and it's yours immediately. So get it today. That's only like the starter skin for him because of course we have the Prime skins.
Yes, the prime skins with the crowns and the wings, as we've also previously seen in the game. So with this true prestige, with Granger's new prime skin, this beauty is waiting for you at level 75 of the M7 pass. So unlock the pass and start grinding today because level 75 is no joke. It's up there.
Anong level na kayo?
Support
Sa M7 Pass.
It costs. So like I think most people don't realize the amount of diamonds you actually have to spend. And the thing is, it's not a fixed amount. You get like an RNG amount of EXP, which is really annoying sometimes. Because you might have to use 3.5 to get there. Sometimes you have to use 7K.
Yeah, well, the pass though encourages you to play with your friend.
Yeah,
So
that's
if
the
you
best
can
way.
group up, like a party of 3, and then you're good.
Yeah,
That's the best way to do it.
depends on which rank you're in,
Or if you have no friends.
or depending on what timing it is. Because if you start grinding 5-man in the beginning of the season, I don't know. I
Yeah.
personally don't like it.
You know what the secrets to friend is?
What?
Friends is? What the secret to friend is?
What's that?
What do you call that? Just drag a random in, and then add them. That's how you get friends.
I'm too I'm too antisocial to do that. I don't even play the game with chat anymore. I completely deny the chat. I don't care. I just play the game. Yeah, just mute everything. If you can talk to me, talk through pings. I don't want to hear anything else.
Really?
Yep. Because
But
there's
that's the fun part.
Nah, I just hear a lot of dumb advice like, "Oh, we need to target this guy." I'm like, "No, you don't. What are you, brain dead? Like, come on, let's think about this. Come on, we're better than this."
Hey, tag your friend who says map in all chat, but then he's actually the guy not looking at the map. You know?
Yeah, he's like 0 and
Oh,
7.
hello Jorel. Oh, napunta ka sa FB.
You keep shoving your leg.
Wala ding chumichika dyan eh.
Of course you're gonna die 7 times.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. But I think there's a couple of adjustments that we need to address here because again, we saw the side swap. The draft bans have to change, please, unless the map reveal here.
Game number 3 bago mag-ONIC.
River? No, not River. Broken walls. All right.
Again.
Sure, broken walls. Let's take it. Okay, so at least with broken walls, we should have a pretty linear line of drafting. But whoever's on the red side has suffered so far.
Elimination is what is at stake. Tournament life at stake. CG and Black Sentence. The drafts have to be on point here. Great start, take away the claw. Don't want to see that. CG, take away the Gronk, Yuzong. You don't want those aggro heroes that can just snowball out of control. Question for Black Sentence. Are you willing to give the Eve again? Or are you happy with the Lunox as being your answer?
Yeah. Or does CG even want to?
I think they should keep to the exact same draft as game number 1 if this is going to be the exact same pattern. Because the onus right now is on BSE to be like, oh,
Dumaan
we
lang
messed
para
up by
mag-share.
one. They
Thank
know that
you
early.
sa pag-share.
And the juice in if it gets snubbed again. I'd be too surprised based on the way things are going in this game. The shorter gets taken out too. What else was banned previously? Now they take out the juice.
Zushin.
Will Black Sentence open up the Kalea or ban it out? If ever, though, they ban the Kalea, then Fanny will be open. So it's up to Black Sentence to choose what kind of draft environment we're going to find ourselves in. It'll be so funny if Fanny gets opened up and just does not get looked at.
Yeah.
Straight up, just ignored.
Fanny,
I know Gary has a Fanny, but I don't remember whether it was like a really mean Fanny just yet, because usually Fanny priorities come later down the line unless the draft is pretty dictated where it's like, oh, we don't have Cho, you don't have Cleo, you have literally nothing to worry about other than the Grok.
Oh, what? The carry gets prio pick. Does Black Sentence have it in them too?
What are we smoking here? What is happening? What is happening? Is somebody like in front of the smoke machine just inhaling? What is it? Why was this necessary?
Ganyan mga solid. Kahit
The
patulog na
E-Fanny is
mag-share
open.
pa.
Even
Thank you
if
po.
E-Fanny is open, I think their biggest issue was scaling the last time, and they're like, okay, since Chiku can play Farsa, can play Yves, can also play Lunox, We can't. I'm sorry, Amzik. You played a strong regular season, but you gotta play carry.
I'm shocked. BSE will just pick up the Lancelot right away. They get the Eve. 2 power picks.
If only I could explain their faces when the carry got locked in, but I can't.
All right, Chico, you gotta lock in Lunox, right? You don't have a choice now. You kind of put yourself in this position here.
Chill, I'm just sipping a hot cup of Red Bull. So it's all good.
Why is it hot? Why is it hot, sir?
I like it. Don't ask.
It's how I got it.
It's how I get wings.
All right. What else could you potentially punish? The Lancelot is not as punishable unless you want to go for the Hilda again.
Yeah.
So if you go like what, Hilda. No, why? Actually, you know what? Just go for the Gato. Save you.
Yeah, I prefer the God. Okay, never mind.
I mean, this works too. At the end of the day, you just need somebody to potentially threaten the Eve or make somebody else's life difficult. In this case, it's going to be Doom who has to take Purify.
But the Gatot then can be open for Black Sentence too.
Here's the even sadder thing. We don't see the EXP lane matchup yet. I'd want to see Black Sentence open up the possibility of a Phobius so that they could consider themselves whether or not, okay, is CG gonna pick up Phobius as one of their last 2, or should we just pick it up ourselves so we don't have to worry about it with the Harith? You already see the Cho, the Traceless, that one single Traceless poke, all of the little Phantom steps carry will take will all trigger the Phobius passive. So that'll be good.
Sherwin, hello.
And then if that happens, they might get a slightly better EXP later, but in the big picture, they will just win. Even Harith together already is something that CG needs to answer right away and find an answer for.
I am so nervous right now. This composition for the side of CG is so squishy. Yeah. So very, very squishy compared to BSE. And I think BSE, the only saving grace at this point, right, is who takes the initiative on the fight. Right now with CG, it's clear that they have a spearhead to kind of trigger everything from the side of BSE. They can bait, but the RWM is
Go
only
blacklist.
gonna get unleashed when
Pang,
CG
pang 10
commits
PM yung
all
blacklist
in.
mo, no, Sherwin.
Clearer signs of disengage. There could be another argument here for BSE to go back to playing something along the lines of somebody who has CC, consistent CC in the roam, and then maybe go for the Arlet once more, just for the potential outplay.
And one of the best heroes to potentially tank things, like Esmeralda, is already banned.
Yeah. A lot of the top
Oh, they picked the Uranus.
carry though. I wanted a little bit more impact. I wanted a little bit more crowd control. Because the roamer options don't really have a lot of crowd control. With Cho, Gatot, Hylos, Grok, Kalea all gone, they're forced, if they want crowd control, they go Batang. But then that's not really what you're looking for here.
Charisma, Lapu.
They used the weren't they the ones used the Akai previously?
Yep.
Akai, there's a Minotaur.
I don't know about the Minotaur. I don't think the Minotaur is gonna be as good. Actually,
Okay, right?
it's not the worst thing in the world. The problem is that it's very difficult to like find value. You can out-sustain the RWM.
Uy, Odette.
I think this is a much better answer to it. You're gonna RWM, you want to get in my face, you want to fight.
Sana, Odette.
Swans.
Swan song. And there's shields from that too, by the way. So.
I don't know. I
Think
think that
press?
I think that this comp is so is like unironically dangerous. But if you take out literally any one of the pieces, it just collapses straight away.
They go chip. It'll be very sad.
You know what? Just get Kaja actually. Oh wait, no. Do they have the raw burst?
No, not yet.
Cheap. Yeah.
I didn't think they'd actually go chip because they're up against an Odette, but at least they can open up the map. But I think, they really have to decide whether or not going inside the portal is really good or really bad. for them.
Imagine. Nag-open ng portal si Chip. Tapos nag-ulti si Odette.
Could have gone for literally any way to cancel out the Swan
Sabay
song
Winter's
would've been better.
Crown.
Even a Gwen
Parang
song
kawawa
might
yung
have
mga
potential.
papasok.
I don't know. This is going to be really, really difficult because the counter index says it all, right? Right now, CG have the better lineup rating and the better counter index. This early to mid-game potential coming in for BSE must be utilized right at level 4. It's a 50-50 for a do-or-die match.
Potential last game of CG. And Chiku, of all people, ends up with a hero that even makes us scratch our heads. But I'm pretty sure everyone is excited to see if Chiku can channel some of that good old CG magic again at the international stage. Meanwhile,
Do
Black
or
Sentence,
die
a little
dito
bit
sa
more
ano,
familiar, a little
match
bit
ay sa
closer
game na to.
home. Can they get the most high-profile win of a Latin American team in a long time?
Ang
And
matatalo
in the
dito, laglag
international
na.
stage, Game 3, win or go home.
Oh, yeah, I just realized now it is a Hilda EXP that we're gonna be seeing in the hands of G3.
Yeah, but I think these earlier stages of the game are going to be really, really important here, especially for EXP priority, right? Because look at Yetri, he can basically fight anybody, and Orochi is unkillable, right? So Yetri has to find value other than his lane.
That was close. G3. Now Black Sentence seem to be acknowledging the fact that they cannot afford to let the Hilda just constantly get out of here, and now they're paying so much attention to Ye3 in the XP lane.
And not only slowing down Year 3, it's that they allow Orochi to get out of lane and actually help hide on Bush. As sort of like a pseudo roamer early on, as Steffe and Shin get vision elsewhere.
Oh wait, but he's getting bursted down though. Oh, Ye3
Thinking about it.
thinking about it.
Actually, kind of surprising that Valens didn't actually want to take that fight, or at least like try and flicker for it, just to get the empowered auto to maybe take out Orochi, but I think it's better to not risk it at this point, considering that this is a very close fight between the two teams, and the very first neutral objective is about to spawn.
Yeah. Things seem to be a bit more better now. Orochi has no idea. Mountain Shocker's there, but he is okay.
Yeah, and they also use the Mountain Shocker super early, so let's see.
The mid wave doesn't get cleared by CG though. Okay, fortunately CG is already 4. Now Orochi looking at the other members, zoning so much. Oh my goodness, Chico! I don't think he wanted to be there.
No. Gary, give this up. Give this buff up. There's no point fighting for it. It's not worth dying for.
Yeah, just go to your purple buff, you're good. You're not going to be able to get unless Miraculous Lash Out. Oh! Gary, brother, did not expect that, but he still got it.
Literally, zero loss. Zero EXP loss. Maybe, obviously there's the turtle EXP, but whatever. At least he's not falling behind in terms of his buffs. And I think that's really important considering the EXP changes to the jungle, man. Getting your buffs is so important. So important here. Oh my goodness. How do they play this game? I'm not even 100% sure. Because look, both Ye3 alongside with Orochi are essentially doing the exact same thing. They're like, who cares about this lane?
Right. Stefan has been getting a lot of... So really, it's Orochi. They still continue it. On this side of the map, they allow the Uranus to be the roamer to get vision, stay front, while cutting lanes, while managing the Hilda back into the EXP lane for the delayed rotations. While Steffe plays a little bit more back to see if he can get some nice counterplay through his ultimate.
No way Ye3 made a bad call on the rotation. He should have proxied the wave after he saw Uranus proxy. He ended up being a little too late. Oh!
Purify already forced out. Orochi here in front of CG Esports Valens. Oh! Still had the flicker. And now they know the real world manipulation's down.
Pitbull should be at back at around somewhere 40 seconds at this point. Plus Battlespell for Battlespell, but the Purify does come back earlier. So Balance won't have the surprise initiation with the Cho. Good call by Shin to commit an ultimate.
EXP leaders finally see each other again here, but...
Wow, riveting gameplay. Oh my lord, look at these EXP leaders.
These micro plays.
Oh, he almost did the damage. Whoa! This is exciting, riveting play. EXP in a nutshell, man.
Steffe doesn't seem to find the right timing yet, though, for the shortcut.
So far, I think that Steffe's only concern is like accidentally throwing out the shortcut and not canceling out the Swan Song.
Oh, wait. Now it's CG who starts things up. Steffe doesn't even get to use the shortcut. Gary secures the objective while Ye3 from the sides
Dive him.
hands over a double kill to Gary.
Are we not diving this? We still have Swan Song.
Yeah.
Balance. Orochi's still able to clear it. Stefan, though, jumping in, now uses the shortcut, but everyone is able to dodge the stun. But look at Hyde on Bush! He finds the perfect target in Amzik. Ye3 trades out Stefan, but now that's two members of CG Esports going down.
Where is Chiku this entire time?
There.
Yeah, not using ult. You're not wrong.
Oh!
There he is.
Why? Why?
Oh, no.
He had to dash to the other side, but the more important target clearly was Doom.
No way, dude. No way.
He probably thought the damage was gonna be enough, but Doom still got shield.
He's playing Impure Rage. He's not even playing Lethal Ignition.
What is it with impure rage nowadays?
I mean, it's just efficient, you know? In the laning phase, you poke people out, but it's moments like this where you're just like, I wish I had Lethal Ignition.
Yeah.
And I wish Lethal Ignition worked within a period so you can trigger it on multiple people and not just you do it one time and then you're just,
It's gonna be big regret for Chico not going after Doom. That would have been Doom's second death if they were, if he just decided to go towards the other way instead of trying to get that kill onto Orochi.
Or flickered on him, whichever.
Flickered on him.
Yo, we saw this yesterday. Is it gonna happen again though?
Oh!
Amzik's going down, but Chico is caught with a swan song. Now he hits so many targets in exchange of his life. Gary trying to go after Orochi, but instead it's Doom who they find.
Oh, they're split, they're going after Shin.
Oh, there goes Shin. Unify Force down! Now there's a knock-up again! Balance and Ye3 try to finish the job, and they do.
Hopefully they get trying to decide which one to get. But not at this point, he's like, oh, you know what, I'm a Uranus. There's not much I can do, man.
Yeah, and Gary's immediately going for the mid T1, which is far more valuable than anything else. A really great fight, and now you guys are understanding why Malaysians have a really controversial relationship with Chiku. He's like, he does some weird stuff, and then he makes like the super play, and you're like, I forgive you.
Yeah.
He spat in your face, and you're like, do it one more time.
Sir.
It's disrespectful, but it's necessary. He makes up for it every single time.
This is a love-hate relationship that you have.
It really is.
Oh, wait, Ye3 all alone, though. Now the shortcut's used, and
Why?
still this is
He could have flickered out. As Valence, Chico, and Amzik were going down.
He didn't, or did he have the flicker at the time?
He
Wait,
did.
Shin, okay. Now using the real world. Another swan
Chico!
song on 3 members at that. But without Amzik, can they still fight this?
They can't, not at all. I don't know. Oh man, because Odette is an interesting hero, right? I feel like Chico is trying to maximize the amount of damage he gets by throwing out the stun first straight in to the Swan Song to maximize his damage, because technically the stun can bounce around if the targets are close to each other.
Up top, up top.
I think they just need to. I think he just needs to ult, right, and save his abilities. He just needs to be a deterrent more than actually profiting from it.
Because like for the past 2 instances where we saw the swan song, he was either waiting in the bush, trying to go for an ambush, or down bottom, he decided to go in, and even in that most recent fight, he started it by himself. So
With the Jesus Swan being the only item so far, though, once the Odette gets to the 3rd item, then Black Sentence really needs to watch out for every Swan Song that gets dished out. With all of them sticking together at some point. Most likely he'll go for the Genius Swan. Even the Lightning Torch, that's going to be really painful to deal with. And with everything that's happened in this game so far, Hydon Bush has gone under the radar. He found Amzik in that fight.
yeah.
Got the kill there. He's 3-1-4. 2 turtles over 1 compared to CG. He's been on point in this Lancelot.
The short range from Carrie is really hurting her odds, because Haydn Bush has successfully found her 2 times already. The 3rd time just feels really inevitable and something that they have to answer for. I think that at this point, what could they do? Gary, where is he currently at? He doesn't have the Endless Battle yet, but he's already completed the War Axe alongside with the Hunter Strike. And then when we're looking at Chiku's side, Lightning Truncheon finally complete, but I don't see any Dominance Ices done yet.
Wait, balance.
Could be big.
They don't know that Steph is there. They're gonna try.
You're waiting. They still don't know.
I think it's okay. It's pretty okay as long as Amzik doesn't walk up first. I like the fact that they're like, let's probe out with Valence. There's a good chance he might be there, so let's just hold on.
Oh, they're spotted. They're spotted.
Now that
The trick is up.
oh! It doesn't land. Oh, that could have been something for CG Esports. Definitely could have been something.
That could have been one of the most high play predictions of all time. It just turned out to be Stefan was one step ahead. He didn't use the flicker out right away. He walked a little bit more flickered.
Yeah.
You saw it. It was almost there.
I mean, was Valence one step ahead, or was he 2 steps ahead? I feel like he was 2 steps. He could have just walked up, forced the flicker, and then followed up.
Yeah, that's true.
A bit too excited.
Okay.
Try and get it off.
At least CG Esports now, though, have a clear adjustment. They're not letting anyone alone on the opposite side of the map because they know that there's a potential threat of Stefe with the shortcut, and they force out the Purify from Orochi there.
I'm all for it. I am all for it because Orochi, they're waiting for his stacks to run out. He's going to sit on the Lord to maintain it, right? But there's no way to get him off of this realistically. Maybe Chico, guys, when he does eventually get into the Wishing Lantern, but for now, Amzik is supposed to be their main answer. And without a Trinity completed, he is just a little off of DHS. Once he gets that DHS, it's going to be a bigger problem. Wait a second.
Oh, there. They
saw him.
Oh, they found him. Now they have nothing to worry about. They're going for Orochi, still not using the shortcut. There you go. Steph is still alive. 1 hit more needed. Real world manipulation committed by Shin, but all members of CG Esports are able to reposition themselves out. Thornrose committed by Hydon Bush. Steph is still not going home. Gary spots him. And now Black Sentence, they're all low.
Yep, they got to go back to their neutral objectives, right? But first, clean up the waves. Top side is on net negative for CG. Bottom side is a net positive. Mid is already shoved in. This is a really good time to start getting involved.
And Steffi doesn't have the shortcut again. Doom has the Zaman Force though, so that's one. They just have to be careful.
Careful is one thing, but I think that Amzik has a really tough job. That ult, as good as it is, can only take out one guy at a time. And they know that Orochi is pretty difficult to deal with at this point. What does he have? Does he have the Pauldron yet? No, he does not have. The Dom Ice is on its way, but he's only got Oracle, so he's praying for the best.
Huh? Yeah, he goes for Doom.
Starting to pour something out. Purify still there on the Harith. Valence.
Now Valence finds Shin. There's the Purify, however, and the real world manipulation. The shortcut too, right at the corner. Stop CG Esports from potentially pursuing this fight. Now it's Black Sentence who might be looking for the re-engage, but CG Esports, they don't want to fight anymore.
Too resource hungry for everybody here.
A3. Orochi zoning everyone out really, really well. Chico, he finds him there. Doesn't use the ultimate just yet. And they rely on sheer damage to do that. Now they've regained control over the Lord Pit. Stefe trying to look for an opening, but now Yari gets to secure the objective for themselves. Doom might be next, but then he gets to put himself under the turret, and CG Esports have found a way around this.
Dude, Chico's holding on to that ult until next Christmas, my guy. He's waiting for 2027 before he releases it. Because so far, his ults have been interesting. And it's strange to see, but Odette so far has a 25% win rate in 4 games in the M-Series stage. Wow, Chico posted 80% in 5 games in MPL. I didn't realize it was 80. I thought it was still 60. I missed out on two games, I guess.
CG Esports on the brink of getting a victory here. 10-7 in the kills.
Come on, do the thing.
Chiku, a massive swan song. But he's not going to pull the trigger just yet. He wants to really savor the moment. Is he waiting for a savage?
I don't know. It's either he really wants to use it immediately or he doesn't want to use it at all.
That's the thing. I feel like he wants to be in the center.
Okay, Orochi now. Oh, Amzik stealing so much damage, but he has to flicker out because you can expect the same from Doom. Stico finds Doom, but on the other side of the map, Stefe also gets to use the shortcut. Ye3 though, trying to pursue Shin, and he will be successful in finding the kill. But Chiku's traded out too. Now it's Ye3 all alone.
So, explain to me what the call was there. Like, how, right? How could you botch this up that hard?
I mean, trying to buy time, but at this point he will eventually fall. This beast of the Black Sentence is out. Oh, yeah, three.
It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Even if you get a wipeout, there's...
Just clear out the minion waves.
Yeah. They got to deal with the minion waves. Man, this is hard to watch. This is pretty hard to watch. Let's look at that replay one more time to see how bad this was a biff, right? Because the fight split in two, and that's something that CG does not want to do, right? They kite to the same side, they see Stefe, but then the information was cut in half. Chiku's going for Shin, who's supposed to be the main target. And don't get me wrong, I don't think it's the worst target, but you have 4 members attacking your backline who is already less than 25 HP.
Yeah, I think if he got the kill on Shin and Doom, it would have been different. But Shin was able to get away with it. So all the other frontliners were able to just regroup and help Shin survive that for a bit more longer. And unknowingly, those frontliners had decent amount of damage too.
Why are we going for a Rose Gold Meteor here? Is Shin that big of an issue to Amzik? I feel like as much as you're up against this Harith, the range is kind of important because Orochi is pretty much in your face 90% of your times, and then the last 1% is Doom, the other 9% is hide on bush.
Yeah, it feels like he's just thinking of all the magic damage dealers. He's thinking 4 magic damage to 1 physical. I build rose gold.
I will not let Stefe kill me.
Yeah. Not this chip. Anyone but the chip. Great position by CG, by the way. Black Sentence prio on the turtle, but they have a little bit more map control. The Sun Gary down bot, cut that. The beacon.
Oh, wait.
They need to do something right now. What a gank! What a gank!
Stefan doesn't know, but everyone else is there too. Now Chiku, is it time that he uses the Swan Song? He finally does, but no one goes down. Sietri blocking off the other members, and every single one of them remains alive.
That was hot.
That really was. Good thing Gary used the mountain chakra in time, because if he didn't, he would have just gotten surprised. But he felt it. They knew something was up. And then they were able to spot out the chip play before it fully pushed through. 5v5 still. This could be a very intense and dramatic end to this 3-game series. CG and Black Sentence fighting for tournament life.
Dude, look at the goal lead. It's just going back and forth. It really doesn't stop changing. 12 to 11. These teams are so strangely equal in terms of the playing field. Despite having such a better composition and counter index. Oh, wait.
Orochi, where's that damage coming from? Gary, he just wanted the Lord. And now that they got it, nothing matters anymore.
Yep. I was thinking they'd use the chipple to send the Lancelot back faster, but where was it?
They're nervous. They're nervous. He's like, Chiku's not holding it until next year, guys. He's using it this game.
Yeah. They knew they're still, again, that's one of the threats of this Adet up against that chip. Even if they did decide to use it, they would have just all eaten the Swan Song. Although dead. And now CG easily got the Lord. They're marching forward, very close into items. Black Sentence has great defense, great high ground. But can they make it work, Chiku?
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised if Chiku flickers in.
Yep, he honestly should after this, right here.
Okay, doesn't have the Winter Crown, but maybe right now is a good time. Black Sentence, though, will focus on clearing out the waves first. And there goes the Does Chiku go in? 4 members of Black Sentence are down. Doom could not defend this anymore.
Boss! Ganda ng ulti ni
Such
ni
a
Odette.
toxic relationship I have with Chiku. I doubt him. He says no. I pay back with dividend every single time.
Poetic! A swan song from Chiku! Unfortunately sends Black Sentence home, and CG are still alive here. It is not a Black Friday for Malaysia.
Nice try. Nice G.
Effort for everything that you've done, for what you almost achieved. But it's CG who walks away victorious.
A heartbreak for the region of Latam. More rebuilding to do, but great potential, a bright future, and truly competitors that could change the
Eat
game
well,
in
not a
year's
fan.
time. 5 months compared to a year.
Ano ba name
Imagine
mo?
if they were on the same footing.
Para hindi not a fan ang sinasabi ko.
From MPL LATAM Season 1 to MPL LATAM Champions to this moment where it looks like It almost looked like they could have taken this away from CG, but hesitation meant that CG pounced.
That makes it 2 Malaysian teams now.
Yep.
Well,
Not just it.
no, this is an elimination match.
two brackets.
Hindi pa, hindi pa.
That's right.
So at least for CG, they make it for just one more round.
Yeah.
Isang panalo pa si G
One best
para
away.
makapasok sila sa
And I
knockout
mean,
stage.
We're trimming down the fat here.
Yeah. Heartbreak.
To the lean meat already, and we're getting there fast.
Yeah, we are. We have one more elimination match coming up today, but of course, in just a moment, we'll be hearing from CG. Unfortunately, Stefan will have to wait another year. I think you're starting to see the emotions on the faces of BSE. They were so close, but the moment of hesitation. But they knew if it was like a loss, and they used the shortcut. That would have been an easy swan song for Chico.
Yep. No matter what, it was a matter of chicken. Whoever pressed the ult first, guaranteed to lose.
But no matter where they decided to put Steffi, right?
Yeah.
CG were just quick to react, and it's not react in a bad way. It's like they decided to rotate towards the bottom lane, fully knowing well that that could be the call for Black Sentence.
But it's crazy. The runner-ups of Malaysia was taken to 3 games against Black Sentence. 5 months again. I hope Black Sentence considers taking this team together.
Wow.
They've had a wealth of experience this M series. They started off Swiss by taking that 1 game against CFU Gaming. They struggled against Alter Ego and Team Falcons.
Parang
but they
pumasok
took
pa pala si
CG
Lance
to
dun
the
sa,
limit.
ano,
There's a
sa
bright
ulti ni
future in
Odette
that
mo.
and I hope the region gets behind Black Sentence, for there could be a team there to make an even deeper run in the next major international. But it is the joy of Malaysia as CG is still alive here on Swiss stage. We're going to go on over to Rose for the interview to hear from CG.
From MDL Latam to the World Championship stage in 5 months is no easy feat. Keep your heads held high, Black Sentence, and we hope to see you come back stronger next year. And now the winner of our second elimination match of the day. Give it up for CG Esports! Right now on stage, we have with me Yetri and Chiku. Boys, that was a very intense game 3. How are you both feeling right now?
Feeling good.
Feeling good? Chiku?
Feeling tak hampir tak tahu nak cakap macam mana. Hampir rasa macam nak kalah kat tadi.
He
Tapi
felt
yeah.
like he almost lost just now.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, almost. Now, Chiku, we learned that CG
Ano oras laban ng ONIC? Eto, tatapusin lang yung interview plus explanation ng game. So, siguro mga after 15 minutes pa.
We fighting in
Dapat 8 PM sila kaso ano eh.
BFYG and
Na late na.
our screen partner. So
Mag-timer ka mga 15 minutes.
It makes it harder because more or less you guys know who's going to pick and ban.
Parang nag-RG lang daw. Iba galawan ng mga Pinoy.
Yeah, that was a very intense full series actually. Now, Yetri, this journey in the Swiss stage so far, especially since it's your first international tournament, right? How different is CG from when you started in the Swiss stage until now? What changed?
Different, maybe the confidence, because before this we lack of preparation and our team is not fully ready. But right now we are fully together and change our mindset.
Fully together, and of course the mindset has definitely changed. You said that the confidence also has changed, so are you guys more confident now?
Of course, we confident to going to knockout stage.
Confident to go to the knockout stages. Now, yes guys, tomorrow CG Esports has actually one more do or die match to get one of the last few tickets to the knockout stages. And speaking of that, since you guys are 1 game away, do you feel more pressured?
Pressure is come every time but I already usual to that, and maybe because whoever the opponent we try to fight.
Whoever the opponents, you guys try to fight. Now, we know that back then in Malaysia, whenever you guys are stressed out, you guys would go release some stress by bowling. Have you guys done any of those activities in Jakarta to help manage the stress?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, 2 days ago, right? We go bowling. 2 days ago.
I think yesterday, yesterday night.
Oh, yesterday night.
Yeah.
Okay, so for all of you guys who don't know, here's your little fun fact. CG uses bowling as a way to actually de-stress.
Bukas
Now,
walang
Chico,
laban
I
ang
see in the audience
PH.
today
Sa
that you
knockout
have a
stage
special
na ang
buff.
PH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yung bukas kasi,
Your family is
laban
here.
ng
Do you have
bracket
anything you
ng
wanna say to
2-2.
your wife, your baby?
So,
Untuk wife saya dengan Dania, hopefully
magdodraw pa
kita boleh
mamaya. Yung mga nanalo kanina,
Is that to
tsaka
his
yung
wife
mga
and to his
natalo
daughter? Hopefully
kahapon,
they will go back to Malaysia
yung
later,
maglalaban.
not anytime soon. And of course, earlier today we showed
Yung mga
a
mananalo
video
ngayon,
message
I
from
mean.
Yums, and he was giving his support to you. Is there anything you want to say to Yums?
Balik na lang kayo pagka tapos na yung drafting.
Semua SRG punya player and coaching staff mostly. Terima kasih sebab banyak bagi tips kepada kita orang and membantu kita orang perbaiki masalah kita orang. Ya, terima kasih.
Once again, congratulations to CG Esports for making it out of another elimination match. Thank you so much, boys. Congratulations. I will see you both tomorrow. And of course, now it's time to show it back to the casters to actually analyze what happened in this full series match.
Great to hear from Ye3 and Chiku, of course, showing their love and thanks to their fellow Malaysian
Pressured ONIC dyan. Favorite sila. Kaya nga, ano.
SRG, of course. Because I hesitated there because I remembered Cram and Innocent are Filipino. So that's why I was like, I don't want to accidentally lump all of them as Malaysian, as there are Filipinos who are surprised that Cram and Innocent are Filipino. So
I think no matter what, it's going to be help from the organization, right? Because Coach Ark, technically, if you're talking about quote-unquote help, that would be kind of the go-to. But let's give it up for our MVP of this game. Without a doubt, as much as I was like, okay, maybe, I don't know, he's holding on to that swan song till next year, he has paid dividends again and again and again.
Yeah, it's like Chico was like, guys, the ult is called Swan Song. It should be the final goodbye, the very last. So I will get the last. Yeah. I will get the last big Swan Song right before we win. It's all part of the plan,
He
man.
was saving it, even his flicker. So maybe that's why he wasn't showing himself anymore.
It's for the sake of conceptual symmetry.
Yeah, you guys can fight, and I'm just gonna use my flicker and my swan song when I wanna end things.
Look, there are many different arguments that can be made here, but truly there are only a couple of facts that matter. Now let's start looking at the highlights real quick, because let me tell you, this Swan Song had so much potential to devastate every aspect of this fight. You can tank an entire RWM if you're sitting right in the middle of it, but the biggest problem is how does it get cancelled? Now, a lot of the knockups really just boil down to, hey, if Chip gets on top of you, because everybody else doesn't actually have CC. Well, I mean the RWM, but even so, it doesn't cancel out the channeling at the end of the day. So it's about positioning in these fights. When you are looking at Harith on the opposite side, he can only dash as far as the zone that he has created with the Zaman Force, which is why we see that in a lot of major fights that BSE is looking to try and take out some key characters before the fight even begins. But then the Swan Song comes in, always clutch at the very end. As we see the rest of these fights continue to play out, the worst thing that BSE could potentially do is to start a fight by a Lord, and that's why you were seeing that Stefe was heading to opposite sides of the map, looking for potentials. Luckily, Amzik learned a little bit off of the team spirit game. Maybe don't walk up too far up in the lane. You know, maybe wait for the Mountain Chakra. Let Valence do a lot of the heavy lifting. And I think that Valence, I am worried about him because his hero pool seems to be more proficient towards Cho and nothing else, but I could be entirely wrong, similar to the Swan Song, because in this final moment, it was so telegraphed. You knew exactly what they wanted to do with this Swan Song and Flicker. We're gonna siege, we're gonna take you all out. If you walk too far outside of your crystal, it's game over.
So I really can't fault, again, going back to the main point with how the Swan Song disrupted a lot of the ideas that maybe Black Santas just could never bring out, that they had to hesitate, that they had to think about the Swan Song every single time. Cannot blame them for not deciding to use the chip ultimate to send the Hide on Bush to the Lord in the last Lord fight, and then they just decided, let's just play for the defense. But then at that point, Chico was like, I have one condition. I look for Shin. Once that real-world manipulation is up, I'm going in. Swan Song.
It was like a collective call to just come from behind the wall so everyone gets surprised, because no one saw that CG were ready to fight inside the base just yet. But then you just needed that single dash from Amzik, and then Valens could do it easily. But
Yeah.
Chico was the difference maker in that team fight because he literally sacrificed the flicker just so he could also get in and cross the wall. I love it when I see unique mages in the mid lane.
Yep, and hey man, none other than the man who brings unique stuff all the time to you guys. God, he's already played so many different roles. He's made an impact, and it's great to see him back on this stage. But I'm really excited for players like Amzik, for an example. Yeah, 3 unironically played one hell of a game. He bought literally, what, a total of a minute and a half of just delaying his opponents?
And the presence of the Hilda really showing up as to why it's
Mag-dinner muna kayo, guys. Meron pa yung timer na 10 minutes.
The Rome with the EXP. In the Rome, as we saw here, a little bit more demanding. Make sure you get the timing right of the mid-trades. But in the EXP, as long as you're managing your lane, you're good. You just go straight run to the back, get that target down. A very fun one here. Between CG and Black Sentence, it went to 3 games. I was expecting like a pretty sloppy, one-sided affair, but no. Again, which is why Black Sentence, hopefully they keep this roster. It's only been 5 months. They could only go up from here. I hope we get to see more of them. Maybe in MSC.
It was really fun, even if it was a Hilda Uranus matchup in the EXP. It's not like we watched them in the EXP lane anymore. Our observer did not go there anymore. So we were just...
Come on, what are you going to see? You're going to see...
Riveting gameplay.
Uranus going, whoa. Hilda going, whoa.
We just had to watch Chico, right? And whatever Chico wanted to do.
Well, I mean, Valens was also a pretty good second place to watch make moves across the map, because I think that he started to pick up on the idea of like, how exactly should I be dealing with this chip? I don't need to deal with him. I just need to see him once.
Well, we have one last remaining match for today. It's Evil up against ONIC Indonesia. Who would have thought that ONIC will be fighting for tournament life, now up against a Singaporean champions? We'll be back after this break. champions of MPL Indonesia fight for tournament life against the champions of MPL Singapore as Evil face off against ONIC. I cannot believe I'm actually saying that.
Yeah, it's a little interesting to see considering that ONIC was supposed
Game
to
na agad, charing.
few,
Gabi
I
may
would say,
10 minutes
part of the top
timer pa
5
din.
of
Yes.
favorite teams to eventually make it.
So
We don't know
halos
which one
30
that
minutes
was
pa
gonna
na
be
yung
again, but they were
aantayin
pretty high
mo.
up there.
Yeah, because I think
Grabe
even
ang
for,
tagal.
let's say, the coaching staff.
Okay, magmadali guys. May 10 minutes pa ulit. 10 minutes na chikahan.
Placed in top 3 like Liquid or Aurora would all acknowledge that ONIC is one of those teams to beat, to really get past before you could eventually say that you would confidently be able to win. But I maybe it's the best of ones, maybe it's other factors too, but honestly, it still remains a mystery to me because prior M7, we thought they had such a great grasp of the meta already.
Yeah. But to be fair, again, to ONIC, this is the first time we're going to be seeing them in a best of 3 match here at M7 as they have only faced off in the BO1s against Boostgate, Yangon, Team Spirit. But that just really contextualizes this thing that I can't believe that a team the caliber of ONIC ID struggles in a BO1 format, whereas the team that they face in the grand finals of MPL Indonesia Season 16, Alter Ego, have gone perfect against Aurora Turkey, Black Sentence, and then they swept the team that beat ONIC in Yangon Galactica. So the Sky Kings must rise before Evil takes control. I like that headline. That's pretty good. Nobody thought that we'll be here, but we're here. It's Singapore's champion taking on the champions of Indonesia and one of the favorites to win the entire tournament in an elimination match.
Yeah,
Wow.
M7 is something else. If we end the Swiss stage in a similar fashion as to how we ended Wildcard, which was like a major upset or a team we expected to advance not advancing, then that'll be crazy. But I think a lot of us are in agreement that this favors ONIC.
Yeah, no, it definitely favors ONIC, and considering their entire run up to until this point, it seems like they had issues of being a little. Again, this team is very much free flow, right? We gotta have creative ways. We gotta be able to kind of flow, be able to get people into the fights, in and out every single time, but they lack decisiveness. And I think that's something that we saw in their past 2 losses. They weren't decisive enough to take an initial fight. And sometimes even on their wins, that's why we only see up until the late game where that free flow really matters take into effect.
Yeah, because I'm surprised. Like, the drafts they tend to go for are still, I'd say, centered around Kiboy Sans and the plays they can make. But as you said, they look like they're trying to go for it, but then they don't. So I think that's also one of the things we want to look out for.
One thing ONIC can look at is that history works well for them in the sense that the last time we saw an Indonesian champion in the M series started off 1-2. They eventually made it to the grand finals. I'm talking about Team Liquid Indonesia in the M6 World Championship, where that was the record they started with. But now looking at Evil in the history of Singapore in this format, NIP Flash were pretty darn good during M6. They lost to CFU, they beat Aurora PH, they beat S2G, then they would go on to take a then really hot in the tournament Twisted Minds to be the 4th team to secure their slot. That was M6. Let's revisit now, though, the history that doesn't work well for ONIC Indonesia. The fact that when it comes to best of ones, they do not have a glowing track record with this format, either in the BO1s or even in the BO2 format.
And it's kind of ironic, right? Because the only times that when we look at the BO1s, it's like, oh man, this is kind of difficult. And obviously, in M3, they beat their brothers. But up until that point, coming down into those best of 5s, the only times we see them actually drop the ball really, really hard is either to at the time, going to be eventual champions, Echo, and of course, Deo's Fault, who we now know as the one and only Team Spirit. Like, so again, very much recalling back onto the history of the teams that they have lost to, they are still losing to, and the track record of BO1's not being great, honestly, still adds up.
Yeah, and now they're gonna be filling this M7 portion, depending on how things go for their best of 3 match here against Evil, where I'm wondering how Evil feels like heading into this match, because I feel like they've been on a great momentum. You could see it and you could feel it in their interviews and how motivated they are actually, because they've defeated like some of the more significant teams for them personally, on a personal level, I'd say. But to prepare yourself against a team like ONIC, I wonder if it's like a similar feeling to how CG felt, or like are they gonna attack this in a different way, or are they gonna stick with what's familiar to them in a sense, and especially in terms of draft?
I think so far, the biggest ways that we've seen teams try to punish ONIC, especially in those BO1s, really comes down to the performance of whether Lutfi is able to get into position. Because Skylar, he's getting to the kill points, he's getting to the critical mass, he's unable to convert it due to a lack of space. So maybe that's the way that Evil is going to hit him hard.
Yeah, if they can hit Lutfi hard, hit the side laners hard. They also have to look at Skylar, not Skylar, excuse me, Keyboy, if they can give him a hard time. I've been asking around, a lot of people behind the scenes have been thinking that they're sort of underwhelmed by Keyboy's performance so far alongside Sands. But hey, now that we're in a best of 3, it might be a little bit better. To know a little bit more about the champions of MPL Indonesia, one of the favorite teams to win it all, we gotta watch this to understand them.
Tim ONIC kalah.
High above the clouds, it's the Dragons of the North that take the Sky Kings down in front of their home crowd.
Ya inilah M7. Gak ada yang bisa dilihat, gak ada yang bisa tahu gimana jalannya pertandingan ini.
Nggak tahu juga, emang kalah aja.
Hindi po siya common eh. Siguro, yun nga po, dahil hindi po siya madalas nangyayari, kaya medyo nahihirapan po kaming ayusin.
И мы знали, что Оники достаточно в плохой форме, и этот матч можно спокойно выиграть.
Normally, when you see a team struggling, you have to see about the inside and the outside of the game. Based from the outside, I just think that they are not in sync right now and they have some communication issues.
Ya kita main menang kalah, maksudnya menang bareng kalah bareng gitu. Kita nggak ada kayak ngesalahin satu player atau gimana.
I don't know what I can say. They still bad drafting, bad playing, and have a lot of mistakes and in gameplay, in micro, in macro, in some strategies, in some fights, in some drafting also.
For me, kailangan na nilang ilabas yung talagang hero nila. Huwag na sila mag-try ng any composition.
Sometimes it can be a simple problem that can, kinda affect your team.
Mungkin dari tekanan pressure dari fans juga ya. Karena kan kalau di Indonesia diharapkan banget untuk menang.
Sebenarnya kalau dari gue sendiri, gue kayak ini sih, kayak ngelihat mereka gimana cara mereka ngangkat piala sih. Jadi kayak benar-benar itu ibaratnya kayak redemption dari dalam diri gue.
Dia akan melakukan yang terbaik dan meningkatkan lagi cara bermainnya.
Untuk ONIC tetap semangat.
Semangat ya. ONIC semangat terus. Let's go ONIC.
Come back stronger ONIC. It's time ONIC.
Community sentiment is that ONIC needs to stop experimenting and ego drafting. But should they?
I think
Are they actually experimenting and ego drafting? Just because we saw Kyrie pick up a Leo Mort, which is one of the highest picks in the tournament.
I don't know. I feel like it's really the small little things, right? Because again, it's just how much preparation have you put into the game for each and every individual teams that you have to play and account for so many different situations, right? When we saw them play against Yangon Galacticos, I think it was the most obvious that they were not synced. And even their draft, again, a little questionable, right? And then we look at their fight against Team Spirit. Clearly, Team Spirit just got whatever they wanted to, right? Canceling the correct abilities at the correct time. It felt like they couldn't make a mistake, but really the onus was on ONIC, who wasn't peeling for each other to create those beautiful moments that we know ONIC for.
Yeah, it was that game which brought back my faith in the Leomord, because I lost it because of the ONIC game, and then it was brought back by Team Spirit when they went up against that exact same team, which was ONIC. But I agree, because I feel like the way that they've been drafting, except for the Yangon gate perhaps, is very much ONIC's identity.
Time laban ng TFPH, wala pa. Wala pa silang laban ulit. Sa knockout stage na.
I would personally think that it's more on making sure that they get to activate the Sans Keyboy connection that we know.
Wala pang schedule ang knockout stage eh. Kalmahan niya lang. Ang mahalaga, pasok sila sa knockout.
Get the advantage all the time. But so long as those two are working then everything eventually falls into place. And I think you could say the same for Skylar. Like Skylar is very dependable in the gold lane, so
Yeah.
I think majority of the attention is gonna fall on the mid of ONIC.
Oo, kahapon yung laban ng TL eh. Tas, knockout
Now
stage
in
na
this
sila.
situation, the Ludwig definitely needs to step up.
Yeah.
And because if the argument is, then if as long as Kiboy, Sans, and Kyrie are doing good, then everything should be going good. But what if it doesn't? Then someone needs to pick up the pace. Someone in the side lane needs to pick it up. The pressure is on the EXP. EXP jungle are the focus of this meta. A lot of the pressure is
Cute
on
ng Patrick ni Sanford kahapon. Oo.
Evil. A team that
Grabe sila eh. Nilaro yung laro eh.
getting the greatest upset in MLBB history if they can take the Sky Kings down today. But it is a tall order for Gear, Aether, Sayla, Powerful, and Ven, as even their victory against Flash in Singapore had question marks on it.
I mean, people say that there's question marks, but at the end of the day, they're here at M7. And they're also backed up by veterans like Kieran as well. Sayla, who was part of an international 4th place finish during M3 to push Evil forward. This is what they're looking for. My biggest problem with Evil right now, and their biggest opportunity to actually beat ONIC, comes down to what is their win condition. Their win conditions are always extremely tight.
Si Lord na yung kumuha. Cute nga nun. Tapos tinipihan nila ano, ni Carl tsaka ni JP.
Timings of those are always lackluster. And as you mentioned, Remar, I don't
Daming kwento ni Ogiel kasi. Uy, kalma.
Mention it. Actually, the way that they've been drafting seems a bit too dependent on a certain play, or there has to be this sequence for you to be able to guarantee that you get the most out of your lineup. It's the Tigreal during their first game, and then the Freya Faramis in the second game. And they've been trying the Sora out as well. So I know they're a team which is very textbook, and or at least they're described to be a team which is very textbook or fundamental. But these drafts kind of take it away from them to play that.
My worry for Evil here is that when they went up against Team Spirit to open up their Swiss campaign, and then they went up against Aurora, Turkey after they defeated the FYG, they did not look impressive in those games. I did not see an Evo that I feel like going into today, I could say they can beat ONIC. But who knows? Singapore has always been the region of many surprises when it comes to the international stage, and they might bring that out. Here's an interesting fun fact. Did you know that Sayla, the mid laner of Evil, and Kyrie are actually good friends, and they've been good friends since M3. And there's even more details about their close friendship, and even with Coach Yeb and
Tropa pics
Sayla
pala sila.
in an interview that we had with Rose, Sayla, and Kyrie. So we're gonna throw you on over there.
Ako lang pala present sa YT. Oo, ikaw lang.
Friendship will be a good factor.
Wala ka nang nanonood dyan. Ewan ko kung bakit. Gusto ng libreng skin. Ayaw naman magtyaga.
Sayla.
Hello.
A very interesting mix-up. Hello. Hi, Sayla.
Hi, Rose.
Now, I know some people would think this is a very interesting mix-up, but actually, the last time these two met was in M3. And in case you guys didn't know, they actually became quite good friends right after M3. So, tell us, Kyrie, how did you guys eventually become friends during M3?
I think it was while in the tournament, he asked me to eat out. That's when it started.
Yes, because M3 did happen in Singapore and Sayla is Singaporean. Where did you guys go eat?
Haidilao.
Hot pot.
Hot pot.
A good choice. A very good choice. So, Sayla, so after so long, how do you feel finally meeting Kyrie again? Did you miss him?
Yes. But I mean, I met him quite a few times throughout since M3, so we've been keeping in touch lah since.
They've been keeping in touch. Okay.
Gusto bigay agad, ayaw paghirapan, no? Kaya nga.
Kyrie in M3.
Actually, his vibes is very similar to me. We are both really shy. So, yeah.
What about you, Kai?
I think the same as his answer. It was also, my first impression of him was, he was like a shy boy. Yeah, shy introvert.
Yeah, M3 was definitely quite a while back. Now, what's your impression of him now?
Still the same, I think.
Still shy. Sayla?
Exactly the same still.
No difference at all. You know what? Just a little bit. since you're in Indo now, which is kind of Kyrie's home ground, is there any food you recommend Sayla to eat while he's here?
I actually asked him to eat nasi padang, which is my favorite food here, and I don't know if he already tried it or not. Did you?
No, not yet. You bring me.
Not yet. Okay. Before we enter into this game, you guys will become enemies later on. Friends right now, enemies in the battlefield. Is there anything Kyrie wants to say to Sayla as a friend?
I just want to say I'm sorry because I have to send you back in Singapore.
Ay!
Sayla?
I also want to send you home. Sorry too.
In order to see who will be sending who home, we shall head right into the match.
Thank you, Rose. Nice to see the dynamic of Sayla and Kyrie. Dude, I would pay to watch a buddy cop film with these two as stars.
I'm telling you, the Wattpad is going crazy right now.
What?
Yeah, the Wattpad is going wild. Singaporean youngsters are out there.
Kaya mahirap daw karamihan sa Pilipino.
Relationship right here, a bond that can't be broken.
Because the way that they were just standing beside each other like that and not moving. It was awkward, but it was so cute.
That's how you know they're true friends. The shenanigans that they've been up to. But it's time to welcome them up on stage. Let's start.
Pag ba yung nilagang itlog, hindi kinain, tawag doon? Ignore. Kahit naman ano, hindi ilaga. Pag hindi pinansin, ignore na rin.
Not all hope is lost. EXP Ludby, Mida Sons, Ronky Boy, Gold Scholar, and Jungle Kyrie. Your time is now. ONIC Indonesia! The home crowd has shown up. EXO Hall is filled with Sonics. But maybe, just maybe, it's a team from Singapore. They're champions and a little bit of evil that can spice things up.
And on the other side, from the Philippines runner-up now facing Indonesia's champion, the Singapore
May 500. Grabe yung daldalan yun. Ang tagal. Oo nga eh. Naging 8:35 yung ano, yung start ng intro.
This team has worked far too hard to get eliminated now. Singapore known to be upsetters in every international tournament. This could be their moment that could change a lifetime and a generation for MLBB esports within their own region. Of course, we have the brawn lined up in front of us. We must get the brains up on stage. Give it up for the coaches for both Evil and as well as ONIC. From the side of Evil, it's Coach Bitoy. And from ONIC, it's Coach Adi and CW. Once again, we'd like to thank Gary the Marshal, making sure that everything is running smooth up on that stage. All technical issues will be handled.
A lot of us are thinking this is probably gonna go a very specific and predictable way. But what if just a little bit more magic from Singapore, a little bit more shock? What if that DNA of NIP Flash or the now Flash is still there in Evil? And it might just be enough to shock the champions of Indonesia. Here's the champions of Singapore on your screens.
Yep, because if you're talking about the magic of Singapore and their lineups or their runs ever since in international tournaments, it always feels as if it's an almost there. Like they bring out something and then they almost accomplish the upsets, but it's never enough. And that's been the trend for Flash for how many times now in a row? But now it's different. It's not Flash that we're seeing, it's Evil who defeated Flash. And with this mixture of new or young bloods and veterans, this might just be that recipe to accomplish that.
I think a bigger topic we need to talk about are the imports here. Aether and as well as Ven. Ven from MPLPH. From the side of MPL Indonesia, we have Aether. Both considered pretty mediocre in their own routes, and now they have to fight.
Tatagos kaya ang ONIC? Ano sa tingin niyo, guys?
Pillars of the Indonesian MLBB esports scene. They're facing up against Skylar and
Soar high, Sky King dominates the evil.
Trust Kyrie. It's a good way to look at ONIC IT, but it is definitely no longer Kyrie Esports as the old stigma was back then. But the entire team definitely need to carry their weight. Skylar, questionable Bruno, pick with a fighter emblem. Will they experiment with that? I don't know. But Skylar has always been one of those gold diggers that I feel like can get away with whatever pick he ends up with.
It's true. It's true. The Sonics are out in droves here in the Exo Hall and online as they start to dominate who will win game number 1 in the chat.
I could barely hear anything.
Me neither.
Yeah, they're singing. I wonder if like there's an end to that singing.
What did you say?
I'm just glad.
See, I can't even hear.
Now I'm getting. Now I can hear you. I can hear you guys. Just trust. We learned from this.
Yeah.
It's not to try and beat the noise. The mics will pick us up. But if we don't hear each other, then no hard feelings. It's not that I'm not listening to you. I really cannot just hear you.
Umaatake si PLDC PLDC wag.
They're in front of us.
Huh? Why? Why now?
It's over. It's literally so loud here in the EXO Hall, and we haven't even gotten into the draft. I don't even know what kind of map we're
Wala, legit ba PLDC? Umayos ka.
playing on.
Yeah. This is all on. I think there have been a lot of sentiments too, or shout outs towards the coaches, like Coach Adi, what do you want to do now, and stuff like that. And so same goes for
Wala
Coach
nang boses
Tito,
si
for
Brigida.
sure. So now you're asking what map we're getting. It's gonna be dangerous grass.
Yep. Okay, so now we look for the surprising picks. We look for the picks that could disrupt a lot. Excuse me, Vivian showed up right in front of us, and I may have gotten just a little bit distracted.
Wait,
so,
where is she?
oh no, ice too slow. Bring it down, ice too slow. Okay. By the way, randomly shout out Naisu. So,
Kung in-game lang to, sasabihin log. Log, no? Log. Ayaw talaga niya, guys. No? No! Ay, bakit? Grabe. Refresh lang ako.
Evil is going to draft because Kalia and as well as Carrie are going to get locked in for Evil. Carrie was expected.
Ayaw niya, ba't ganon? Mag-refresh lang ako, guys.
I mean, the Phantom War results really just show how much of an uphill climb this is going to be for Evil in the eyes of many. A Baksha priority first phase. Yeah, this feels familiar.
I like this a lot because here's the relationship, right? Yishin Shin is a little nervous about walking too far to the Kalia, right? And he sucks when he starts falling behind, but he will eventually scale. So the early game, you have an advantage with this Baxia, and now as much as Gator is a direct counter to the Kalia, he can't deal with the Baxia pre-level 4 or after that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time dodging everything the Baksha's gonna throw at him if ever. Wait. Tara taken out for Skylar.
I mean, with them taking the clothing of the car, actually theoretically it makes a lot of sense with how they decided to draft this. In terms of the best picks for Skylar, they whittled it down, but then ONIC can honestly just go double fighter. The thing is, they still have to think about the fact that there's a carry on the other side. So you see the train of thought here for ONIC. ONIC took out the Sora. If there's a gold lane pick that might show up here that Evo needs to be wary of, I think it might actually be the CC Gold.
Yeah, it's just that I'm probably worrying a bit about ONIC and if it ever does go to the late game and how can they close it out if they've been struggling in their previous games to do that, even with the presence of a marksman already.
Yep, that's actually an excellent point. That's one of the problems, I guess, for ONIC that has been evident for them here at the Swiss stage.
I think this might be a Moskov angle. I think that there's a potential for Moskov to actually get played here for the side of ONIC, but it really depends, right? Because at the end of it, double fighters is still very much on the table. Loyi gets banned out here, But considering that ONIC is already getting rid of things like Lapu Lapu, I think they're either setting up for a potential Farsa, because it doesn't look that good if Farsa goes on Evil's side. ONIC is going to give them that choice and take whatever's left. In that case, it's probably going to be Lunox, right?
Yeah, the Lunox would actually be nasty for ONIC.
Ban Glue. Give him...
Lunox and Carry together is just...
Maybe they're not thinking about the Lunox considering the ban of the Uranus, because honestly they would have had the... They already had the tools to deal with it.
Yeah, let's see if this is a mid lane pick coming in from Evil, right? Because they can opt not to go for it.
Yeah. Farsa's still available if they want the range. Double fighters might be difficult. They could save mid, show their XP. I mean, like, it's no hiding the fact that this box is going to go into the jungle.
What do you put against the Yuzhong, though? The Ira...
I think you just go Glue, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the only thing. All right.
Okay.
It's going to be Farsa and then Glue here. ONIC, if they want to like really ruin his day, they can preemptively just go, you know what? I'm going to go into the Farmus even though it kind of sucks against the Farsa. But considering that this is ONIC's time to really take advantage of the best of three, let's stick to standard stuff.
Yeah.
Will Sans end up getting the Kadita, considering it's a low bid for him?
Yeah, I feel like Sans is not gonna Paramis. It's just not giving Sans.
It's not giving Sans?
Not unless they're planning to pair it up with something really, like what we saw in previous series, but still seems like a really good... Oh no, what the heck?
Because they know the Glue's coming up.
Yeah.
And as expected, they pick up the CC.
Yeah, this is what I was worried about. It's just what was going to be the mid lane pick, and the mid lane pick determines what the side lane pick is.
Are you still gonna Glue?
The hell no.
Hell nah. You're gonna lose your little longs really quick.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, from the Arlot into the Faramis.
But that's still somewhat a great way to deal with the Faramis too.
Yeah.
So like...
well, I mean, I suppose, but I still think that at the end of the day, this is some really tight win conditions from either side, right?
Yeah.
Because they're immediately looking to answer a problem with a solution, and that's the entire draft. You show a problem, I instantly answer. And now it's come to the point that it's so convoluted, the ordering and the stack matters more than how the composition positions.
Interesting decisions for these two. Lineup rating, though, will lean towards ONIC. Early to late game potential, way better. The damage potential, though, the hypothetical damage potential of Evil, really, really good. Maybe that's where they'll play it through. As the drums of the Sonics thunder out in EXO Hall, we welcome you to game number 1 is best of 3 elimination series. Two champions face off, the champions of Singapore, Evil, and the champions of Indonesia, ONIC.
Let's get this last BO3 on the road. Everybody has been excited to see whether or not ONIC has recovered from the previous mental and emotional damage played throughout the best of ones here at the Swiss stage.
The drums have stopped, but their voices did not. We're already in game, but we're still hearing the Sonics cheer loud and clear. So now we finally get to see, will Lutpi actually live up to whatever we mentioned? And does Keyboy actually get back in shape?
I think he does, because again, Lutpi, he knows this. He doesn't want to mess up level 1. As soon as he hits level 2, he's got a pretty good chance at finding a solo kill onto Gear, and Gear's well aware of it. It's all about maintaining lane pressure. It means where you don't lose your HP. Losing HP, or at least losing your... No, he misses that, right? Yeah.
He wings by wings in. Now Keyboy gets the taunt. Sayla already pretty low, but none of them will use the flicker just yet.
Pretty dicey mid-trading, though. I mean, good thing that they didn't use the flicker. That would have been a bigger loss, favoring ONIC ID.
Yeah, and now Sayla's gonna lose. How many? Let's count. One minion's gonna disappear before he gets there. I don't know if the second one will disappear too. Doesn't. Only missing out one minion total at the end of it. While the gank's happening on towards the top side, right? You can see that ONIC literally is looking for anything while Evil is trying to match that pressure. We're not going to let you get free ganks off. We are man defending you each time.
Yeah, that was a great dive. He forced out the Petrify already from Lutpi. Oh, but Sayla, now that's a flicker down.
Put lots of pressure on this Farsa. Not going to have level 4 contesting this first turtle is going to be really tough for ONIC. Look at Sans.
Whoa! Sans does it, picks up first blood, and there's another fight happening up top. It's Gear who's going down. 2 members already gone for Evil even before this turtle.
Yeah, Sans didn't just take down Sayla, he diffed him there.
What was Powerful doing? He was holding the key point on the map. I think he should have just given it up and said, you know what, there's no point. Because Sayla is not even level 4.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get this wave and he isn't healthy, he has to recall even if he does hit level 4. So the choice really needs to boil down to who are your anchors? We must play for them.
Play for this Barca Evil, you need that feathered airstrike.
They're getting tipped so much. Even in terms of the energy shields, you could see how ONIC ID are already able to get a lot out of that. And they just double it by picking off Gear for the 2nd time in the EXP lane.
Clean, going as expected here for ONIC ID. Play around your conditions. Slow, disciplined.
Oh, Tsunami Slam already committed. Feathered Airstrike 2 is there, but so is the Nether Realm from Sans. Can they get out of this? No! Oh, they pull Sayla back! And now with Kyrie joining the fight, Evil have to disengage.
Oh man, Sayla thought he was so safe. He gets taunted, loses his last 2 shots of the feathered airstrike, tries to get away, gets yoinked back by Sans. Everything that could have gone for Sayla went wrong. And now, you can see that Ven, he's having a bit of a tough time against Skylar, but it's a matter of time, and that's what Evil needs to do. As much punishment as Sayla takes, as long as he's able to scale up, that's what matters at the end.
As much as they're besties.
As much as they're besties.
As much as they're besties. This is not a fun time for Sayla.
Really isn't. He's being read. His roamer has left him in the weirdest spots. And now he's just getting dove on. Got outplayed by Sans. That was just Sans really understanding the limits of a Faramis there. It's just like, wait, I could just go versus you right now. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think the animation's weird because it's like the GFX looks like it's way shorter than it actually is, but it's really just a small projectile that's chasing you in. For some reason, it's like mildly slow.
Oh, Keyboy checking the book. Now he spots 2. They are actually gonna go for Powerful. Powerful 2 responds though with the Tsunami Slam, but there's not enough damage just yet. Powerful goes down. And that's another successful play before an objective for ONIC.
Yep, and Sans didn't even have to use the Netherrealm for it. I thought maybe it was going to preemptively do it, but true trust into Keyboy, only maximizing the Revitalize to initiate this dive. And now, with 2 turtles in their hand, a 2-level lead from Lupti on the top side, everything that could have gone wrong for the side of Evil on all 3 lanes have gone wrong.
All the conditions of ONIC ID have been checked. First 5 minutes, they have the kill lead. They have a 3,000, almost 3,000 gold lead. All turtles have got to them so far. They're playing around a fighter-centered lineup. Kyrie hasn't died yet. He's gotten 3 kills. Everything is going perfectly for ONIC ID.
Okay, now Evil might want to look for a trade. Skylar has the Vengeance though, and the Nether Realm! Right at the edge! Skylar still survives! Keyboy as well. Now Kyrie goes in. Mountain Shocker picks up a mega kill and another pull from Sans to potentially take down Aether. And they successfully get a double for him.
What's it gonna be, Gear? Oh!
That's a final slash, but it's a flying Faramis. It's a floating or flying Faramis who just gets to walk or float away.
Because of this, because Gear having to travel halfway across the world, he loses his tier 1 because of this. And even so, Aether is still falling further and further behind to Kyrie. As fast as Boxia can clear and can rotate across the map, Kyrie is making sure he is losing no time.
That's another attempt. There's no Nether Realm, so Sans actually will go down. He doesn't have the Purify too, but yeah.
It's a good punish, though. It's a good punish. Sayla still has Feathered Airstrike, and they know that in 33 seconds the turtle is going to spawn. If they can find an initial kill onto Skylar before his Vengeance, that would be ideal.
Alright, Evil will now eye this lower turret. Skylar will be like Keyboy as well.
Yeah.
He has the AOG available for him. Here comes Sans, also has Nether Realm.
He's already back.
Yeah, Keyboy and Sans are showing themselves, made Evil go, nope, let's not do this. Which is sad. They're not going to be able to find a trade because Kyrie is pushing up top. He's going to steal the orange buff away from Aether too. So Gear's going to see if he can try and cover, but Kyrie got it way too fast.
And that's a tempo punish right there. Your indecision has costed you. Now Turtle's coming up and you're going to be way far behind. 3-level difference.
Oh, now they finally trade. Skylar will be the sacrifice, but they could potentially pick up the turtle after this. They're gonna block off the entry points for Evil. they still actually want to look for an opportunity. They see powerful, but he's just gonna back off.
Kyrie's also making his way down to the bot side of the map, and so far, everything that has happened, Gear has not been able to really participate in any of these fights. It's starting to frustrate him because he is just bleeding out money every time he walks out of the lane.
Yeah, the laning phase is terrible for Gear. Now he's really just a final slash machine. See if we can make the most out of that. Maybe if you can even get like a Dauntless Strike, if Vengeance in. It's not going to be the big impact outside of the ultimate. Evil still trying to find a way to recover. The unfortunate thing about the pick off of the Skylar in the bottom lane is that it happened while the minions weren't there for them. So instead of it being a kill plus a turret, it was just a kill while waiting for the minions.
Yeah, and now they're going to make an attempt to group as 5. Ludwig still has Petrify, and that's something that Ven just honestly, considering that he is currently running... What is he running? What is he running? I can't remember. Flicker, right? Is he running Flicker or Purify?
Yeah.
Flicker, there we go. Then he shouldn't be walking up so closer. Yeah, because he will get one shot.
Ooh.
That was so close. Good thing Aether was able to recall back.
Yeah. But again, he's still second in gold, so it's not too bad for Evil just yet. If they're just banking on the idea of Ven eventually being the focal point of this draft.
The thing is, though, Evil cannot defend. They can't even defend their own resources.
Yeah.
That you're not necessarily playing to get a lot of farm for your Baksha, but the YSS is getting all the farm, meaning that one of the main cores for ONIC is really getting resources.
Yep, the trade isn't fair, and Evil is trying to even out that score. They managed to get at least one back, but that's off of initiating, right? Knowing that they don't have battle spells.
Oh, powerful. He wants Skylar, but the Nether Realm will save him there, and Keyboy goes in too, tries to counter them out, but surprisingly, Evil actually had damage, but with Ludwig coming in as well, a Black Dragon form alongside Kyrie, they finally get the advantage back, a double for Ludwig, and Kyrie will be there with him as Sans takes down Aether.
Beautifully done by Ludwig. Great initiation after the initial attack coming in from Evil, and Sans and Kyrie did not miss a beat. This was the Ludwig that I was missing out on in the Swiss stage in the BO1s.
The Ghost Bursters from Sans hurt as well. It's Ghost Bursters with Lightning Crunch, and everyone was close together, and now ONIC gets the Free Lord 6,000 and climbing for their gold lead. Let's look back at the instant replay to see that pretty disgusting damage that Sans and the rest of ONIC were able to dish out.
And that's the thing, right? Because when you see the AOG come in, and even the Feathered Airstrike, once Keyboy was on top and managed just to get the taunt, things started to go wrong after the Nether Realm, right? That's when Lupti gets into the middle of it. The knockup ends up hitting Powerful accidentally, and Powerful honestly shouldn't have dived him in the first place after seeing the Furious dive.
Seems like he forced it there. He used the Tidal Strike to get close. The range wasn't enough just yet. I think there was a flicker that was committed too, just to secure that. And again, the Lord just spawned so fast. So now, in no time, ONIC ID, they're just this close to getting rid of all the remaining outer turrets from Evil. And this is not looking too good.
Oh, unfortunate.
No more holy shields for mid too.
Yeah, really good spacing coming in from Sans. He knows exactly what he's doing here, but now they're also getting the holy shielding on that top side as well. Wait, the Lord doesn't take the damage.
Oh, they could still utilize this if they wanted to, but they're gonna respect Evil and their potential. They know that the final slash, the knockups from Powerful are available too. Okay. Hey. Oh, that's the curtain call AOG combo, and now it's going back for ONIC ID. They finally go for the dive alongside the Nether Realm. Aether trying to walk away, but Kyrie doesn't let him. ONIC ID are so close to taking away game number 1, but can Gear, can Ven make something happen? They don't even get to clear that single minion left, and that's gonna be game 1 over to ONIC ID.
Wow, what a game! What a game we got lined up here today. Really well played coming in from the side of ONIC, making sure that their fluid motions really brought up a new level of play. Win the laning phase on all 3 of the lanes.
Day 1 ONIC.
Your life during the mid game.
Kanina pa nagla-live. Opo, kanina pa 6 PM. What a game!
Evil were wondering, it's like, how could that have gone better for us. That was just ONIC being ONIC. Lutfi stepped up, dominated gear in lane. Kiboy and Sans, deaths and trades here and there, but ultimately got the job done. They got their winning conditions, all of them. Easy win for ONIC.
Really, really good stuff. Again, this is only the very first match here as they start heading on over into the back, making sure they're keeping the fans' hopes alive. But this was the major combo, right? Again, we didn't get to see it too often, but it's something that they had in their arsenal this entire time. It's the curtain call into the AOG. It's really hard. It's an almost guaranteed hit on the AOG every single time, and they only whipped it out right at the end.
Yeah, what was that? What was Aether and Powerful caught together, I think. So you get those two players out, and Ben couldn't do much anymore, not even with the presence of the Arlot by his side.
There's no other way to look at it than you're seeing here the Sky Kings. This is peak ONIC form, but what I like about this performance is that I didn't really see a lot of moments that made me go, what are you doing there? It was just a whole load of, they were all there at the right time, initiated at the right time, entered at the right time. Everything was just at the perfect timing for ONIC time.
After all the series we've been through today, it feels weird to not have a Womas.
0-2 na daw ata.
I'm happy about it. I'm happy
Nakachamba daw, sabi ni Lay. Go ONIC!
At the very least, looking
Washat kay Ken Palapag. Hello.
hey, you are the ones who need to crack us, not the other way around.
Paano mga ako ng points? Magko-comment lang kayo ng magko-comment.
That we need to address because why did ONIC decide, you know what, we could have dove at any point in time knowing that we have the Faramis.
Meron pong ipunan ng points sa YT live stream ko. Yan. Ang gagawin nyo lang syempre mag-sub, mag-follow sa FB, ganun. And comment lang kayo, tapos makaka-earn kayo ng points. Pwede nyo ma-check yung points nyo, comment nyo lang exclamation points.
Would rather not risk it because I think we saw a glimpse of it almost.
Shout out daw kay Aika.
Before Lutfi
Maghilamos ka na daw.
I'm not sure if he used the petrified.
So, ayan, meron ako 1,304 points. Pwede na ako mag-redeem ng epic skin. Ano kaya mariredeem? Ring! Pag hindi kayo nagko-comment, hindi kayo makaka-earn ng points dyan. Kailangan nagko-comment talaga.
What an EXP can do given the right amount of resources. He doesn't need a lot. He's 3-0-7. A majority of his participations were just assists.
Really easy to step up with one of the strongest lane bullies in the game, but to be able to shine with it, get an MVP performance with it, that's a little bit more difficult because it means it's requesting perfection of you to make the most out of your Furious Dive, all of your combinations to apply the pressure at the right time, which is exactly what Lutfi did.
So good, so good. When we look at these highlights, right, we need to break it down simply just by the way that ONIC is looking to fight. A majority of these fights that we see here really just comes down to, like, how do I punish the mid lane? How do I make sure that Sayla is never going to be in the right position at the right time to get maximum value out of that feathered airstrike? And especially since you have 3 losing lanes and priority in each and every single one of them, this is why you see moments like this where it's like, oh, the AOG is definitely going to connect. Who else is nearby? They win a 4v5 with a late addition to gear coming in at the end. All of this.
5 pa lang sa'yo, hindi ka naman madalas nagko-comment. Kaya wala ka pang points. Kailangan talaga tatambay kayo sa live stream.
And now the international stage as per always, but even more so to the level of perfection where honestly, even then, how do you realistically play this game? You walk up, you're gonna get engaged on. You stay too far back, you're as good as dead anyways. All of which, just nothing they can really do. I have not much to analyze about this because really the only thing I can ask for Evil is to take bigger risks. And if they fail those risks, they just lose faster. If they happen to win out in those fights, good for them. They buy themselves 2 minutes.
I guess it was a bit too difficult for them to feel confident enough because Sayla didn't have the best possible early game. Or like Sayla was the focus of ONIC during the early stages of the game. And Sayla had to play such a big role in terms of the early damage in terms of the early rotations because they're on a
Or
back
refuse request ng skin dapat kay Cliff
that was
daw.
a requirement and ONIC immediately away.
Alin doon?
Makes me wonder whose call it was. So you look at the deficits. To send Powerful away from the mid to ensure that Sail, instead of ensuring that Sailor would hit level 4, Powerful just decided to hold the key position as if the Farsa was already level 4 alongside Aether, which they were a little bit closer to the EXP lane then at that time, instead of helping Sailor out in mid. And that little decision eventually snowballed into a
Yung
big
Patrick.
runaway win for Keyboy and Sans at the center of the map, and which meant Kyrie was like, I'm just gonna farm, man. I'm gonna be here getting a perfect game.
I think that EVIL really need to evolve their template style of gameplay, right? They have such tight win conditions, and they're always assuming that the opponents are going to fall into it one way or another. If, you know, they get a little tired, you go on autopilot, bam, that's when we're gonna catch him. We're already in the international stage. It has been 4 consecutive years where we're seeing teams, and honestly, this is where a lot of people leaned into Team Flash more than EVIL for a majority of it because of the experience, right? We see people like Diablo forcing out plays against their opponents to get something back. We don't see that from EVIL.
Yeah, those plays, even those heroes that Diablo, let's say, decides to bring out, and it's the flavor which a lot of people really appreciate about Singapore, despite them not really getting those commendable finishes just yet. But hopefully, we get to see that in as early as game 2.
So that was game number 1. Again, best of 3. But it seems like EVIL has way more things to prepare and work on to make sure that they can make this a competitive series and force
Para makarami kang point. Hindi yata, ano eh.
have a little conversation with fans of
Parang hindi
EVIL
naman
who flew out all the way from
count pag
Singapore to join us
spam.
here in Jakarta at the EXO Hall.
Yung normal chatting lang.
Hey guys, Rose here. So right now I'm actually interviewing a little bit of the EVIL friends that I have spotted out in the arena. Hey boys. Okay guys, introduce yourself to all of our audiences.
Sana eh, lagi nagre-request. Oo nga.
I'm Elvin, also
Lagi sa akin.
Okay guys, so
Sa iba naman daw.
overpowering right now. So guys, where are you guys from actually? Did you guys fly from Singapore with EVIL?
Correct.
Wow, dedicated friends I see. Now, tell us a little bit more. Why did you guys decide to support EVIL despite having so many teams here in the M7?
Why? Why? There's no why. No such thing as why. Yes, it's who. Who we are supporting.
Oh, who are you supporting?
Correct. Evil. Evil.
EVIL as a whole?
I mean, yes, generally, but like specifically one person.
Who?
Our brother. Person. Our blood brother. Brother from another mother. Powerful.
Kulit eh.
Oh my. So, Powerful is your brother from another mother.
Correct. That's correct. That's correct.
How did you guys meet back then in
Kuha mo na
school?
Prime Skinny
What was it like?
Granger. Hindi pa. Hindi nga ako naglalaro ng ML eh.
Years old, you kind of just exposed your age a little bit.
Sayang yung ano ko. Sayang yung
Quite a
XP.
while. And of course, you guys are here to support him. How does it feel to finally seeing him play on the big stage? He finally debuted on an international stage.
It's a fantastic experience as like we seen like perform at the big stage. It brings smile and joy to us.
So like we seen everything he's done his entire life. So like kind of proud.
It's a huge dream for him.
Actually very proud.
Very proud.
Very proud.
Really supportive friends. I really like that. Now, we know that currently you guys are going up against ONIC Indonesia, and from the arena over here, it's a full house, and most of them are definitely ONIC fans, or Sonics, that's what we call them. Do you guys feel extra pressure for EVIL?
Yeah, crazy people.
I don't feel pressure.
The whole stadium against
I
us.
don't feel pressure.
He's our first international, by the way. This won't be the last time you guys will be seeing us.
It only go against the whole stadium.
No? So 3 versus the whole arena.
Correct.
You
That's
know
all we need.
I think right now, EVIL and Powerful is probably listening to us back in the player room before we begin the second game of their series. And potentially, this could be their last because it is definitely match point for ONIC ID. Is there anything you guys want to say to your brother from another mother?
Just gotta adjust, you know. Everything's possible. Just gotta lock in. Lock in.
Last message. What? Last message.
No.
Once we're evil.
Wait, can I just share one thing?
Yeah, you want to say one thing? So, back in M4, both me and Powerful came to Jakarta as well. Then I remember he told me clearly that, Elvin, one day we're gonna come here. And then now that we see him here, like, you know, it's like a really
Di ka naglalaro ngayon. Di ka talaga naglalaro ng ML. Hindi lang ako naglalaro ng ML nitong mga nakakaraang araw.
There you go, Powerful.
Grabe, malog. Weh. Weh.
Thank you so much, boys. And with that, we are throwing it back to the game. ONIC, ID, or Evil, one will continue their journey on the M7.
Brother from another brother. Brother from another mother.
That was one of my favorite interviews of all time, bro. No, these guys are a vibe. That was so good.
I'm waiting for Powerful to come up with an album at this point.
Yeah,
Drop
same.
the EP with your friends, man. Like they feel suited for it.
I wish I had friends like that. They were just so.
We hype you up in MPLPH so we're not your friends.
No.
We've worked with you for 2 years now.
Don't worry, forget
and
about
you're
that.
still wishing you had friends like that.
No, I meant like.
I hope
Look at them.
all the PH talents just heard that. Naisu, who else is off of the PH talent?
While he's thinking about it, don't worry, Brigitte, because there are new ways to celebrate esports. Tell us about it. The official MLBBM Series tournament trading cards.
Oh, I want to have my own set of this because they bring premium design and modern tech together, and they're available this January. You just have to head to play.com for early access and grab yours to hold a real piece of the M series.
Oo, mother yun. Ikaw naman, te.
Get out of all the M7 players.
Lag nga ulit ako eh. Hindi ko alam kung bakit.
It's just one of the few things that you could be doing. Have you gotten all
Minsan
the
kasi
talents out of
sila
it?
na
Because
yung
let me
naglalag.
tell you, I
Di
have
na
an
ako.
easy way to memorize stuff, right? It comes with a simple system, and all you gotta do is look at these characters, and usually they come back up in your head pretty quickly. Look at this. Who does this remind you of? Come on, come on, come on.
Bring it up.
Easy, easy. And all you guys have to do is to be able to memorize these names and all of our talent names, because most of you forget it, you sickos. Check out Acecraft, an STG built around adaptability, random skills, bullet deflection mechanics, and a retro cartoon style, all designed for fast, skill-driven aerial combat. So jump into Acecraft now for some new nostalgic fun.
Attention! MLBB Academy has been fully upgraded. Get personal weekly reports to understand your pacing, strengths, weaknesses, along with a complete match history, so every big moment is recorded. You can also rate trending topics, such as your friend telling you that she doesn't consider you as a friend, despite spending 2 years hyping her up. I was gonna say earlier that Brigitte is like a plane, because she just keeps going up and up with all of her achievements in her career, but yet she says that she wishes she had friends like the friends of Powerful in the interview that we had earlier. I guess apparently we're not good enough hype men. So MLBB Academy is where you're watch matches and understand your growth in MLBB. You can check it out at mobilelegends.com/academy. #MLBB Academy and #Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Soon, eventually, it's going to get so high, it's going to start crashing into towers or something. Either way, I think for the upcoming game, Evil's adaptability needs to be put in a little bit of a box, right? Because the way that we're seeing ONIC dominate these lanes, Evil need to bring the same type of hype there. They need to be able to kind of match those lanes and hold on, specifically the priority. They don't have to win the lane necessarily, but if you're already losing all three, it's almost guaranteed that it's a downhill slope.
Wait, what's with the face?
Don't worry about him.
What's with the face?
He's thinking who other MPL talents he's missed out.
I'm thinking about.
Oh no, not the second one! Alright, Evil, back up onto the stage here.
Wait, okay.
They're on ONIC is on match point. It is not an easy position to be in, but Singapore is notorious, and this is why I don't count them out. There's too many times where Singapore as a region has knocked the Malaysian representative out, and I feel like they can do that to anybody.
I mean, unlike the other regions, right? It wasn't entirely a reverse, a sweep, or whatever, but hey.
No, it's just the effect that Keyboy had on the camera there was actually pretty trippy.
Oh, okay, fine. Anyway, I do feel like
Galing daw ng ONIC. Baka idol, kaya yan.
Definitely does. I think
Bukas sa Tagalog ka naman, may brain is not braining. Kanina naglalag kasi yung PH broadcast eh.
right? And what do I mean by ambidextrous? Yes, it means for
Lumipat ako dito.
your left and your right hands, but they need to work in tandem with each other. If we're going into the same directions, hey, let's both go into the same direction. You open up the map, I'll do the rest. If we need to spread our resources, at least make it very clear how we're gonna make it happen, because we're going back to the dangerous grass.
Ooh, yeah, and just at least don't leave.
I like grass.
What?
I like grass.
Ah, okay. Don't leave crucial people in crucial moments. Okay. I wonder how similar it is. Will we still get to see the Yuzhong? Okay, not anymore.
Wala na Yuzhong.
That's an instant ban. Don't worry, Lupi still has Lapu, so it's not the worst.
Yeah. Good call there. Just take it out. At least you aren't gonna have like super sure matchups like, oh, the Yuzhong is pretty much gonna dominate whoever is gonna go up against.
Better question.
Most EXP leaders.
Better question. Why did Evil ban out Claude here? Is Claude not a consideration for Ven? I know that the one common thing amongst Filipinos is that they're really good at singing. They're all good at Claude.
Yeah.
Like it's built in your blood.
Yeah.
Ako po hindi marunong mag-cloud.
So a lot of heroes are open, honestly. So that
Sino daw kayo mananalo ngayon?
Eve, which is I think a great response to that. Eve.
How did he contest for it though? Shin. So we expected the Eve. I wasn't really expecting the Yi Shun Shin to come out this early on, but I guess they're using it as a blind pick, right? They're like, Kyrie, no matter what happens, we're gonna take care of you. Let's first show your pick, just so we have a better idea of what Evil is trying to grasp with this Zhu Shin. And banning out the Claude, man, it's so strange to me.
Yeah, it's very concerning considering that they banned out the Cloud, they banned out the Yuzhong.
ONIC daw matik. Mananalo.
Prioritize Jusin. Okay, maybe this is why they want to pick the Leomon.
ONIC daw mananalo kasi ONIC yung nasa prediction nila.
Sort of like their answer considering that they took out two of the best divers that can give this Eve a problem. Then they pick up a Uranus, which has been okay. And going back to the past, it's always like, okay, YSS on the other side, Uranus is a good pick.
Yeah, I think I figured it out here. I think Evil right now want to bait ONIC into picking, giving Skylar the carry. That's just the suspicion though, right? Because there's no real reason for you to show your Uranus this early on. Yes, it does work well with the Zushin, but now Esmeralda going to be the counter pick on the opposite side, and they still don't necessarily have to take the marksman. I feel that now that they know that Skylar is comfortable in playing the fighter style and will take advantage of Vengeance, Evil might just do the exact same thing.
What if this is also a flex, honestly?
Uranus Gold?
No, for the Esmeralda. Okay, there's the high loss, because I thought we would be seeing two horses finally, but maybe not. That's a lot of dive we're expecting to see from Evil. And maybe they'd want to take note of these options that could counter or answer back to these attempts.
Feel mo, ate, makakapasok ang ONIC.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes.
I like Gato ban. As much as I want Evil to have it, there's almost no
Kaya
way
nila
to
yan.
get it. I'm pretty confident that ONIC would have just blind picked the Gato.
Pag hindi, edi nice G. Ganun lang, wala naman ako magagawa.
If you taunt him out of the way, or he has to get on top of Barbiel, you can almost kind of preemptively AOG or taunt.
Because even if they're not playing like with burst, I wouldn't mind if ONIC decide to pick up Cho as their role, considering that they pick up the Esmeralda this early on because they're thinking, okay, Esmeralda, no matter what, will hit the point where Lupi can just front. It's not going to be easy to take this Esmeralda down. So they're already saying, this is our front line, then you can play for pickoff. You take away the Hilda, you took out the Grok earlier, there's no roamers left that could help potentially match that rotational speed that a Cho has. So if you just want mid control, aggression, river control, you pick up Cho.
I think it's Cho Khalid that's going to be the contestant, actually.
Yeah, actually, yes.
There's an argument for both, because Khalid's really good playing into the RWM, and ONIC can honestly pick it up for themselves to just try to like, hey, if you are going to try and out-rotate me, I'm going to cut you down. Instead, they go for chip.
Nakaplano na daw para sa M8. Nakakain na kayo, te. Baka may ulam pa dyan pahingi. Di ba kumakain ka kanina?
That was way funnier than I was expecting it to be. Very nice, very nice. I like that one a lot.
Okay. Well, at least there's not much sudden answers that Evil could throw out if ever they go for the shortcut plays. I mean, there's the Crimson Beacon and the Phantom Steed. But if they get to go in first with the right amount of damage, then that'll be okay. Especially we don't know what Skylar is gonna pick yet.
Yeah, I don't think he has any decent options at this point. I mean, Claw would have been really, really nice for him, but you know, you get what you get. The Cho, as expected, gonna get locked in, called by Renmar himself. Their final pick, though, is going to be into the carry. So they waited all the way to the very end just to give it. I'm pretty sure that Skylar... Whoa!
What? So it is an Esmeralda gold, or it's an Arlo. No, it's an Esmeralda gold.
Esme Gold siguro.
Wait, did they switch? I'm gonna have to double
Wait,
check that.
let me also. Okay, it is.
Yeah, okay, it's Esme Gold.
It is Esme Gold. Interesting. I mean, Skylar, it's not uncommon because Skylar has done this before, but I like the fact that ONIC are really leaning into, hey, we can really play fighter golds. Quit letting it through.
Yeah, it seems like they also took the little thing that we mentioned earlier that Trust Kyrie. That's 2 games now where they played fighter, and then it's really just play for the Yisun Shin. I mean, it worked out for SRG up against Team Liquid Philippines. Team Liquid Philippines. So if that's the idea, maybe it'll work.
I don't know. I think it's kind of risky here right now. I think that ONIC's main win condition, if we're looking at the way we're heading on into the Land of Dawn, knowing this could be the final time we see Evil, we need to look for weaknesses. Gear takes Aegis? Why? Why would he take Aegis?
We're against an Esmeralda.
Oh, I know.
Esmeralda on the other side. You didn't flick, you didn't purify, you go for
Mhm.
Aegis.
Like, even Sprint makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Oh. A lot of questions for Evil in the early stages of the game, but at least they're doing decent in
They're not losing lane. that for starters already doing better than game number 1.
Yeah, and it's also Master Assassin. Cool. What? Master Assassin, Aegis, this
Sali ka, saan ka sasali?
unique approach.
Okay.
But in the center, look at your boy.
Maybe this is the Singaporean, MLBB surprise.
Wait, I'm thinking about this because Gear has a natural advantage against Ludwig at level 1 and level 2. So taking Master Assassin to really put him at odds, he can do stuff like this, where he can take like one tower shot, and then as long as he gets Max Sack Ionic Edge onto Lupi, he guarantees a winning trade. So I think right now, it's to make sure that Lupi doesn't get as far as head as he did in game number 1 on that Yuzong, knowing that he's out to make plays.
Okay. At least Sans doesn't really show up.
This is so cruel.
Yeah, they're holding the minions. Sans wasn't able to get it. Or he was. He was able to get 1 or 2 out of that.
I mean, credit to Gear. So far, he's been the one constantly shoving lane, and he is controlling Ludwig somewhat. So it's working out well for him. So far.
Now Gear making sure that Lupi is really like deep underneath his turret, right? If anybody tries to make a move, at least he knows that Evil's got his back.
Evil is slightly ahead of ONIC in terms of XP. Skylar goes in with a falling Star Moon here. He's just trying to zone out so many members. Real world manipulation though committed, and 2 members immediately get deleted. That's the final stash committed by Lupi, and the flicker just to get away. Kiboy lands the stun on 3, and ONIC are still here, but it's Aether who gets the turtle away.
And now they take everything. This is where Kyrie... oh wait, actually Lupi is a little too low. Same goes for Kiboy. They don't have enough HP to kind of maintain this, especially against Gear. But hey, Aegis, wow, you saw that Aegis go off. Wow, it protected him from so much damage, but he still died. That's crazy. It's like it's not a good spell.
So really fast. And even Skylar benefited from it, even for just a little bit.
I don't know, it just feels silly. It feels really, really silly to take Aegis, especially when you know that there's an Esmeralda on the other side anyways. Sure, you could be using it pretty decently for lane, but why not just take Sprint? Or why not just take, something real simple? I would honestly make an argument for Execute even to be better than this Aegis.
Because he's the guy who can chase and just finish off kills if he wanted to.
Exactly. Don't play for Peel.
Oh, and now Gear looks to be the target. There's a shortcut that's gonna be committed on him. And immediately after that, they're going to Restream and return to their individual lanes. Skylar gets the sense that there might be something up top
Oh
though.
my god.
So he will not try to defend any further. We'll just have to sacrifice the energy shield.
Nice. I thought maybe Boy had his ult ready to go, but he used it down on the bottom side, which is why it kind of snowballed in this particular manner. This is a good response from Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went map to map. They get their carry out of lane. Now they can easily play S5, play 4 Ven. Was able to maximize the energy shield. They really don't have to worry about the Esmeralda too much, even though it already has 2 kills. As Enchanted Talisman, they have their first item on their carry, and then they can just build from this point. Hopefully with rotating together, they don't forget that there are still gold cards that they can give to that carry for just a little bit more of a boost in the gold department.
Yeah, beat him up, Gear. Beat him up ever so slowly. Punch him in his face. Riveting EXP gameplay. Wow, look at him
let's
go.
watch this. Let's watch this. Okay.
Wow.
That actually hurt.
I mean, he does. He genuinely can like dive him underneath the turret, knowing that Lupi just used his final slash. But now that wait, he missed out on 1 minute. You know what? Never mind. He doesn't need it. He's just gonna proxy the next wave, right?
Ooh. Boy's just holding this.
What is he doing? What is he doing? Are you proxying the wave? I want pick one.
Decision Gear. Did not cut it. Now he will make it to the turtle, goes to the mid. But then there is minion wave pushing down bot.
Your face.
I am losing it.
I gotta do play-by-play. Hold on. Now that's Way of the Dragon, which doesn't connect. Evil will freely get this objective once again, but Keyboy and the other members of ONIC are actually gonna go for it. Gear is down, and not even the Aegis keeps him alive.
Oh. Okay. All right. Despite all of that, the biggest loser in this is still Gear. He lost an entire wave, nearly lost his tier 1, joined the fight, used his Aegis, still died. It's just, it is not going well for Gear at this point, and ONIC ID are taking full advantage that he doesn't have a Purify.
The kick from Powerful off angle, but that ended up being a turtle for Evil and another kill maybe.
Oh, Aether gets Barbiel. They're chasing after Skylar. That's 4 members onto him, and he cannot survive. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Gear will not die for the 4th time.
Yep.
Yet.
Not yet. Not until he has his Aegis, of course. Classic. The classics. But Skylar honestly got pretty close to actually escaping that. Had he just charged his Falling Star move just a little bit longer, I think he would have made it over the wall before Sayla was able to get his max stacks of Butterfly to lift him up.
Still a very close game. It's Keyboy is being managed relatively well.
Yeah.
The gold lead has not ballooned to an insane amount. Evil has gotten the first 2 turtles. Fen still hasn't died yet. They got him out of lane quicker. They maximized the energy shielding up top with the carry. By all means, Evil can suddenly turn this around if ONIC slip up. The thing is, it's a little bit more conditional of ONIC actually messing up instead of Evil taking the charge here. But they do have the tools.
Yeah.
There is still a gap favoring the Yisan over the Leomord though. The good thing is Leomord's that hero, he can just clean up. So how do you get to the point where the members of ONIC are low enough for Leomord to clean up? Now that's the question.
Yeah, I think a lot of it just has to come down to Powerful and Ven making the initial attack, killing the target that gets Way of the Dragon, and then having to deal with the RWM later. Because Aether, no matter what, has to come in from like either a flank angle or needs to just peel for his backline. Yeah. One or the other. He can't do both, unfortunately, but that's kind of up to ONIC, because this is a really good case study of Evil playing the reactive draft and defensive draft, while ONIC are the ones who are forced to make more plays.
Yeah, it's Powerful and Ven who have to work together for now, especially if they find the right targets. But at this point, ONIC ID, they're just showing themselves up, and it doesn't feel like they care. Powerful's already pretty low on this Cho, even before this turtle fight.
Yeah, it looked like ONIC were also trying to force the flicker out of him, but he decided to hold on to it, knowing that there's a lot of value with having the flicker on him. Free turtle for ONIC as no more roamer means no more contention for Evil.
Okay.
Again, I don't want to keep. Oh no. Oh no.
Now that's the Aegis.
Yes!
Now he's alive, but there's a shortcut and a falling star moon all thrown out at them at once. The final /2 catching multiple members. They trade out gear for loot B, an EXP for an EXP lane, but Evil at least defend the mid, but will also have to give up Powerful.
Okay, Okay, a 2-for-1 trade in favor of ONIC. They now actually have a decent lead against Evil at this stage. Man, it's so sad. Even with the Aegis, could not sustain the raw damage being pumped out right now. And the fact that Aether is already 2 levels down on Kyrie, these neutral objectives are pretty much uncontestable.
Well, Aether and Ven have not gone down yet. Even Sayla, the formation that Evil have been playing, it's sort of like a Singaporean Ube, just stick it together, play for your carry.
Yeah.
It's worked out well for them. The Crimson Beacon of Sayla has stopped ONIC being overly aggressive.
Another real world and final slash, bringing them right back into the real world manipulation. They get to finally take down that tier 1 in mid. Aether also using the Phantom Steed, but ONIC are not gonna fight head on.
What the heck, are we fighting or what? They need to make a couple of calls here, right? As much as they need to trade up, I think the one thing that Evil is really good at is identifying how much gold profit or loss they get from it. I think they have a very good sense of it, because now they know that ONIC ID has a lead. Being able to fight back is a good thing, but if they don't get a guarantee, they need that 100% guarantee that they get that one guy. If not, it's just not worth the time.
Boot beat goes in, but it's like everyone gets to dodge it. Powerful doesn't find the way of the dragon to answer back.
So waiting for the Flicker to get back on that show. Sayla, Ven, Aether holding on to your life every engagement. And slowly the lead of ONIC ID is getting to a point where it's unmanageable for Evil.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this split that we got with Kyrie on the top side. He's got Keyboy already at a pretty good intersection, monitoring both the purple buff alongside with the Tribe Rush. Meaning anybody on this top side who starts moving past the tier 2s are going to be visible to Keyboy, allowing ONIC ID to make the decision. This is why Kyrie, he's coming back. He thought he was going to recall. No, they start moving towards the mid lane and now they're attacking.
Oh, the combo was not it. Keyboy now finds Ven in the backlines and the perfect usage of the real world, and the final slash seems like it might be a wipeout for Evil. Aether finds a trade on Sands, but now Gear is next, and that's the 5th to go down as a wipeout indeed happens, courtesy of ONIC ID.
Wombo combo done beautifully by ONIC ID. That flank from Keyboy with the conceal straight into the shortcut. Immaculate.
Powerful decided to call it, but in the end, it ended up being a wonderful setup for ONIC to get a massive win there. They get the Lord, they got the wipeout, and it now has gotten to an uncontrollable lead for ONIC. Evil's time is ticking. Let's look at the instant replay. Everything fell perfectly. Even the falling star moon, everything aligned for ONIC to pounce on that.
Just look at Keyboy. He's targeting Ren this entire time, and even Lupi is conveniently on top of him, which is like the best case scenario. It's like you're looking behind to see where the killer is chasing you, and when you look forward, it's just a wall full of knives. It's just, no matter what, you will find death.
Yeah, honestly, even the shortcut layered perfectly with the real world and keeping every single member of Evil in the range of the real world manipulation. So it's not like Keyboy's been using it aggressively all the time. It's like he's always also finding the time to use it in a manner that'll make sure they're able to maximize their other resources as well. Final Slash doesn't connect way of the dragon, just used to kick him away from the range. They still have the Lord. It's healthy in the mid lane, but they'll focus on taking down the other base turrets first. Here looking to be next, still has the Aegis though. Will he use it now? He does, but then he just needs one more hit before he goes down, but ONIC ID don't care. All they want is the sweep, but Evil are still trying to defend. But for now, they can! They take out some minions that are left.
Wiped out, oh.
Finally, ONIC
Nakasurvive ang ONIC!
complete the sweep!
0-2.
And now they get another life. One more series away from
Congrats, ONIC!
But unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to another region, another representatives. Evil put their hearts here up on that stage, and they played with everything they got.
Evil ended the 4-season reign of NIP Flash, or excuse me, Team Flash in Singapore, ending their streak. But today, they are not able to take down the Sky Kings. As Jakarta goes wild, they're champions. still holding on. They now go up to the 2-2 bracket. Evil
ONIC
have
time.
Look at the Sonics. They're all having so much fun. And they definitely missed seeing ONIC.
Pwede na ako maligo, may nakamaniac na. Kala ko Savage.
From Keyboy on the Cho, and even
Sabi mo Savage, di ba?
it's a Cho, but he got the last two letters.
Sayang layo ni Kaya rin sa ano. Sa pang Savage.
This is the ONIC we've been wanting to see.
The ONIC that people were expecting. But the faces, you can tell, they wanted to have a better showing. They understood the enemy ahead of them. The Goliaths, the Sky Kings, as you may call them. But at the very least, they wanted to show that Singapore had just a little bit more.
Yeah. Clean, perfect. And as expected for ONIC, this is the type of performance that they needed to deliver. Because anything other than this would have raised questions. This was a definitive answer to all of the doubters here today. ONIC are still here. Best of ones historically, maybe it just doesn't go well for them. But definitely the best of threes. Much more comfortable, much more determined as well.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps build up that ego, build out that confidence, because the journey isn't over yet for ONIC. They still have another match ahead of them after the draw to see if they can qualify. But the smiles on Kyrie does tell you, and considering that both Sans as well as Keyboy nonchalantly take off their headsets, they know we can definitely do better, but for now, this will be good enough.
Yep.
Thank you for the effort, Evil. Hope to see you bounce back in the next one. But now, it's the Sky Kings' time of glory.
Wala kang Savage.
Let the world see a different
Half,
side of Singapore
half na lang.
MLBB. We bid you the best of luck as you make your way back onto the world stage. And of course, another
Hello,
team
Water
that
MLBB.
survived elimination today, the homegrown heroes, ONIC Indonesia. Right now with me here on stage, we have Kyrie and Skylar. Boys, congratulations. That was a very clean and deserving of victory. But let's cut to the chase. A lot of people has been wondering or even worrying, what is going on with ONIC? Why such a shaky start?
I think, personally, I think it's just because of the best of one curse for ONIC. I think that's our biggest problem.
The biggest obstacle is getting over the curse.
Yeah.
Now that we have entered a best of 3 and tomorrow you guys will be playing again, you think it's gonna be smoother now?
Because it's not best of one anymore, I think it'll be, a lot smoother.
A lot smoother. I think that's what
Grabe
the
talaga
Indonesians
idol,
wanna
baka
hear,
Kyrie
Kyria.
yan.
And of course, Skylar, you guys entered the competition being one of the favorites. A lot of people expected you guys to win. But how is it like managing the expectation? While Kyrie is translating, so masa ONIC ID qualify untuk M7, ramai orang ada ekspektasi tinggi untuk ONIC ID. So, macam mana Skylar manage expectation ramai orang tu untuk perform yang lebih bagus di M7?
Bahasa Indonesia kan ini?
Well, now we're stuck!
Apa ya, mungkin kekalahan kemarin menjadi pelajaran lah buat kita, dan kita sekarang ya udah nothing to lose ya, jadi kita nggak pikirin apa-apa lah, jadi kita kasih yang terbaik aja.
They're currently on a nothing to lose mindset. So you know what? At the end of the day, they have nothing to lose. They're just doing their best and performing on the M7 world stage. So, adakah kemenangan ini maksud tu ONIC sudah selesai semua masalah dalam ONIC? Does this win mean that you guys have already fixed whatever internal problems you guys had with the best of ones and everything? Udah selesai kah masalahnya?
Nggak tahu sih, nggak mikir ke situnya, jadi cuman ya problemnya ya kalau BO1 ya menurut gua nggak ada problem juga, cuman ya kita adaptasi juga dan sekarang udah BO3 harusnya kita lebih confident.
Skylar said that problems will always exist, but they have adapted to it, and of course, they're just gonna do their best. And Kyrie, before the match started, we were catching up outside with your friend Sayla, and you did say that you're gonna send him home today, Kyrie. Is there a message perhaps for Sayla after you really send them home?
Be careful in the airport.
Be careful in the
Visit.
airport. Okay, that is something. And of course, Kyrie, tomorrow you guys will be playing your final game this Swiss stage. Is there a message for the Sonics to reassure them that you guys will be getting 1 knockout slots for yourself?
I think Skylar wanna talk.
Skylar.
He has a message for the fans.
Okay, nice one. Skylar, mau cakap anything kepada Sonics?
Oh, pesan-pesan.
Yes, untuk mendapatkan last knockout slot untuk ONIC.
Pesan-pesan buat Sonic ya, ada istri gua juga yang udah support
Bikin
gua
ng
ya
jowa
kan.
ni Kyrie.
Buat
Kaya nga.
Sonic support kita juga karena besok kita masih ada mes dan doain semoga kita kasih yang terbaik.
Alright, he said tomorrow we shall pray for the best and hopefully the best will come for ONIC Indonesia. Once again, boys, congratulations on making it out of the elimination match. What an intense day. With that, let us show it back to the casters to give us a rundown on what happened in this incredible clean sweep from the side of ONIC Indonesia.
The perfect series for a much-needed comeback for a team that needed it. Honestly, best way to describe what we just saw. 2 dominating games by ONIC, where we saw their best qualities. Clearly, a lot of things need to be shaken up for Evil.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot that can be said about it. I feel
Uy,
like very
magche-check na pala ako ng
lackluster.
predictions mamaya. Tapos na yung
Still our brothers just across the
mga
pond in this
matches.
Malaysian region, and I do hope that they eventually, this is a learning experience.
Sino kaya
We say that
ang
every
pasok
year,
sa
it's 7 at
prediction?
this point, so it's like eventually they're gonna get there.
Yeah, hopefully so. That's been a lot of
May pumasok kaya sa weekly Diamond Pass?
Evil, and especially for those players who finally got to return or play in the international
Parang
stage,
halos lahat
something
may
they are
isang
going to
mali.
carry over to their next appearances, if any. But our MVP for that game has to be the Yisun Shin, which, as we've talked about, the hero they just decided to trust everything with. It's the Yisun Shin for 2 games in a row that they've decided to prioritize and not anything else, not the Leomords, not the other usual assassins we're used to seeing from Kyle. So it seems like for this series at least, they've revolved their playstyle significantly around the Yisun Shin.
I mean, not only that, right? If we say that Kyrie is like, oh, he's going back into his like Yishun Shin days, well, let's say Skylar is going back into his fighters because that's exactly what we saw here in this game. Every single interaction,
Na nagpe-predict.
feel very intentional.
May post lang ako sa FB
from
na
our voices
about sa
at ONIC, right?
prediction.
And I think that ONIC Indonesia did a really good job in a couple of areas. Number one, when they're in losing positions, what are they doing? And a lot of it just boils down to how do you out-macro your opponents with chip. That's why, look, he never needs to be quote-unquote in position, he's just waiting for the trigger. And in each one of these fights, the RWM is so instrumental in buying just enough time for Chip to actually get in and drop the portal in the first place. So with all these delayed times, where do you find, if you are Evil, how exactly do you find these big punishes? Number one, a lot of it really comes down to the macro. And I think that the macro is very, very evident in moments like this. Now, let's look at the map that we see right before us, right? Yishun Shin is on the top side of the map. Chip is looking for a potential angle to get him in there. The question is, how is he going to do that? And as you see the play slowly develop, Kyrie gets into the middle of this fight with a portal that was just dropped after the RWM almost instantaneously, while the top side of the map is getting pushed down into enemy territory. So again, it's not like ONIC is fighting for the sake of fighting, but more importantly is making sure that even if they do lose the fight, the convergence of gold for Evil is close to 0, or better yet, in a winning situation, they get everything. All all the jungle, all the neutral objectives, and every single one of these towers don't stand a chance, especially in these last moments. After out-macroing them for about 8 minutes straight, the deficit is just too big. Outscaled, stat-checked, and the people who are supposed to hold out in the early game, they just didn't scale, and Uranus fell off.
Well,
ONIC, the way it happens.
Yeah, exactly. And what's great is that they also just, despite everything that has happened, they also just showed up and said, Kyrie, take the charge. No matter what happens, we'll protect you. We got you. You'll get your farm. You'll be able to pop off when needed. And he ended up walking with a Maniac. Of course, you also see there the frustration.
May draw mamaya ata. Mamaya na, may draw mamaya para yung maglalaban bukas.
Even Powerful also had frustrations with that game. I mean, can't blame him. ONIC just looked like every single motion that they had was just red.
Yeah, but it
Last matches na sa Swiss stage, yung bukas.
in that game, which gave ONIC the full advantage, were made by Powerful.
Yeah.
Especially though that one instance where we saw the real world manipulation into the shortcut into the final slash happen, because I feel like that was obviously a call for Powerful to go for someone, but do we still wanna like point out the
I mean, there's nothing much you could have done, right? Because no matter what, the layers upon layers upon layers of like natural CC that ONIC actually has, if he wasn't going to get if the way the dragon wasn't cancelled out by the RWM, it was going to get cancelled out by the shortcut, or when Keyboy decides to ram into him, or the falling star moon coming in from Skylar, or the final slide. Like, there's no way you can dodge all of it. And I think that Powerful tried his best, but I think they needed to break out of the template. When was Powerful going to show up and maybe set up a kill for Gear with the help of Aether, right? Yeah. A lot of these motions are too staple, too set in stone. We need to be a little bit more flexible in these areas. Maybe not so the early game, but hopefully it improves from there for Evil to see that there is a bigger picture, because their macro is good when they are actively thinking about it. But when it's the autopilot, holy, they crash.
And they just forget about one of the key conditions. One of the main things when you're going up against a chip is that make sure you know where the chip is. It's not you. Yes, every time people think about chip, they think about it's that guy who can suddenly bring a massive 5-man split push off the side because one guy's defending, the chip shows up.
Grabe nga yun.
No, in terms of the team fighting,
Puro
it's
0 to
really
yung
good to
predict
make
mo
sure
ta,
that you're
diba?
marking him, because his shortcut will kill you if you're not careful. Congratulations to ONIC, who have done it perfectly. Now it's time to say thank you to some friends. Gideon, is the real me still in you?
You don't want to know. You don't want to know. And I'm not going to tell the sponsors whether or not I'm going to give it back to
Yun
you,
lang
because
po
it's so good. It's got
for
all these
today's video.
AI inside of it, like the AI gaming coach they like to call it. But
See you ulit bukas kung merong laro bukas. Pero feeling ko meron.
with just a single tap. So with a combination of
Yeah, thank you so much sa mga tumambay. Good night.
combination, so you are the ultimate show god that nobody will ever doubt ever again. The real me is the way to do it. Don't bother looking.